tissue donors. What drives her? Roxanne received a heart transplant made possible by an organ donor.
I decided that day to devote myself to signing up the most people in the United States. That's my goal.
Now she's a powerful force for good. What could you make possible as an organ, eye, and tissue donor? Leave behind the gift of life. Go to organdonor.gov. U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Health Resources and Services Administration.
My name is Corporal Bradley Joseph Seitz, Jerry Reed,
Kate Weber.
These are real veterans facing a real challenge.
I have PTSD.
And I have PTSD.
I have PTSD.
Post-traumatic stress disorder can happen to anyone.
I was still in a war zone in my mind.
But treatment can turn your life around.
Treatment has really saved my life.
To learn about PTSD and how treatment can help you, call your local VA medical center or visit ptsd.va.gov.
WNKT-FM, Eastover, Columbia.
Hey, this is Jalen Nichols from South Carolina Football. You're listening to 107.5 The Game, home of the Gamecocks.
A Cumulus media station.
High school coverage on 107.5 The Game is sponsored by Love Chevrolet.
A Better Life with Dr. Sanjay Gupta.
More kids and teens and young adults are experiencing anxiety, but fewer are getting the appropriate treatment. That's according to a new study at a nationwide children's hospital, which added that appropriate treatment should include therapy. Instead, researchers found that over the last decade, the likelihood of a patient receiving medication alone to treat the anxiety with no therapy increased significantly. And that's a problem, experts told us, because only therapy can really teach someone how to deal with their anxiety. One of the first steps is learning to recognize anxiety in children early. That's what one psychologist told us. This type of behavior usually manifests in avoidance, such as being afraid to sleep alone or trying to stay home from school. Now, if you see that, ask your child's pediatrician for a referral to a mental health provider. Best bet, nip it in the bud. And don't forget the therapy. I'm Dr. Sanjay Gupta, helping you live a better life.
Hey y'all, my name is Tiara, and a little thing that I love about the Chick-fil-A Spicy Chicken Biscuit is that it has the perfect amount of spice to jumpstart my day. Whoever thought of it, thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Robert, and a little thing I love about Chick-fil-A Spicy Chicken Biscuit is the biscuit. It reminds me of my grandma's homemade biscuit. It's always buttery and savory, then you add the spices, instant classic.
Order the Spicy Chicken Biscuit on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real Chick-fil-A guests paid for their testimonials.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more Straight Talk. Let's take a moment to appreciate our sweet children, loving grandparents, and eternal soulmates. Now let's use them to save money on wireless. Because with the Straight Talk Silver Plan, you get 4 lines for just $25 a month with unlimited data.
Gamecock Larry is on. He said, if you guys can get to him early because he was admitted last night after his procedures, and they may be taking him for some other test this morning. So anyway, just FYI.
Terms, visit Straight Talk.
Bless him.
The Early Game
with Bill Gunter.
That was a segment on the number 3. And 13.
And 13.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne and Jen Jensen.
And all I'm hearing is the Sesame Street song, and this brought to you by the number 3,
there you go.
The letter B, whatever the case may be.
There you go. On your home of the Gamecocks. How about that? How about that for quality radio during the summertime? Welcome to the Early Game. Idiocracy. 107.5. The theme of this show. I don't know what happened. The game.
And welcome into the Early Game. Thursday morning, August 17th. Tirehead in once again for Bill Gunter. Now, Bill says these are his final 2 off days of the year, today and tomorrow. Do we believe him?
I haven't seen an official calendar, so I'm not sure, but I think he showed up every time he was supposed to. So we're going to give him these 2 days.
Okay. And inevitably somebody's going to weigh on the text line. I wish I had Gunter's job. Just take off half the year and still get paid.
Yeah, the thing is, you just actually know whenever we're not here.
Yeah.
We don't know when you're not at your job.
Exactly.
That's true.
And he is actually getting them closer together, whereas, because a lot of people, will take some days in the fall and stuff like that. Well, typically, we don't as much. So we're having to package it.
Also, Americans, take your vacation days.
Yeah.
Yes,
we as a society, we're guilty of just storing up all these vacation days until who knows when.
Yep.
Take them.
And he actually did lose some last year. So he's like, I'm going to take them all this year.
Yeah.
So,
Well, this is the Early Game PSA for you and your job. Don't leave any vacation days on the table.
No.
Yeah, I had to borrow some from down the line for the wedding and the honeymoon,
It's
so I'm
fine.
still waiting on those to, recoup a little bit.
Yeah, it's cool, man. Don't leave your vacations on the table.
No, not at all. And I'm the last person to defend Gunter, so I will say that as part of this PSA. But yeah, just you're right. Don't if you earn them, use them.
Right.
Nobody tell Bill when he comes back that Jen said something nice
Yeah,
about
please
him.
don't.
We'll just strike it from the record.
She's got to keep her reputation up.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Act like it never happened.
So it is August 17th. Happy to say we are single-digit days away from college football returning.
Woohoo!
Now, South Carolina is still in the double digits as we're, 16 days away from the kickoff against North Carolina. But week 0, now just 9 days away. Week 0 do anything for you? You week 0 guy?
I don't have an aversion to it. Like,
Okay.
I know some folks do. I don't have a problem with it. For me, I can't say that the football season starts until South Carolina starts.
Yeah, like it
That's
formally
how I
starts.
feel. Yeah,
Right.
that's how I feel. And yeah, I don't know when anybody else is playing, but the season starts whenever the Gamecock starts. So that's just me personally.
And that's fair because week 0 is not a full slate of games. It's kind of an appetizer, kind of gets you back into it. Would you, on a normal Saturday, watch Florida International and Louisiana Tech? Probably not. But if it's the only game going on, and from a national television standpoint, it will be at one point on week 0, then yeah, I'll definitely check it out.
Well, I got to reframe that question. How deep am I into sicko season? Because there is a chance that I would watch that.
Sicko season's already started for me.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess my season starts a little bit later. So if you're asking me maybe mid-September, I don't know. Again, this is where the Pac-12 was so deep in my heart.
Yeah.
10 o'clock on a Saturday night, whatever that game was, I would probably watch that.
So you do get some Pac-12 action in week 0.
Okay.
Unfortunately, if you don't have the Pac-12 network, you're probably not going to get to see it. San Jose State heading to LA Memorial Coliseum, taking on number 6 Southern Cal, 8 o'clock. That game, though, is on the Pac-12 network.
San Jose State, underrated colors, in my opinion.
Yeah, not bad. They got a good look.
Mm-hmm. I like those colors.
Do have Vanderbilt in action week 0 hosting Hawaii. And I don't know if you've seen the pictures of Vanderbilt Stadium recently. They got a lot of construction going on that will not be finished in 9 days.
No construction project is ever on time.
It's never. And to some degree, I think like Texas A&M was doing construction during one of their seasons or something like that. Like, it's not the worst thing in the world, but like when you look at what Vanderbilt's doing, it looks pretty gutted.
It does look like
in both end
it
zones.
looks like it's a ways off. It might be one of those things where it's, it seems like it's really far off, but actually they only have to do a couple of things to make it all come together. I am not the construction person to speak to. They did a fairly good job here maybe 2 years ago when they were doing some things at Williams-Brice to get everything ready for the season, and they got out of the way. But every time I hear somebody talk about construction, stadium construction, it's always like, I don't know, man. I don't know if we're going to make it, regardless of how much planning it is.
I mean, we know construction in general is often delayed. People say, oh, they're supposed to finish that bridge a year ago and they're still working on it. So yeah, you can put it in the time frame like, all right, the last game gets played at the end of November. We'll have it done by late August. And then you get to late August, you're like, well, we're halfway there.
Yeah. It just, every construction, you could just plan on it being plus 25 to 50% more or whatever you thought.
Well,
and that's probably money too.
When I was driving in today on I-126, I guess they're building that new bridge. I mean, they've had like the support stuff for the longest time, basically since I've lived here. And I was thinking about it. I'm like, they are taking a really long time with this, which building a bridge does not look easy. And I assume it's going to take some time. And it's like, man, they've been working on this for like at least the year and a half that I've been here.
Yeah. Roads are another thing. I live out in Northeast Columbia, and man, that hard scrabble. So I think somebody actually took it upon themselves to put a billboard up, like it says, "Please finish."
Oh my goodness. The roads were something that I quickly noticed when I moved to this state that weren't the best.
Yes.
And you kind of hit that as soon as you cross the state line from Georgia to South Carolina. You're like, oh, this is different.
Yes. Anybody that can help, please.
Also, not a big fan of the very short interchanges.
Yeah, we've talked about that before.
Yeah, that's almost got me in trouble a couple times.
You definitely have to be on your P's and Q's getting on or off, especially at that intersection of I-20 and 26. you have to be very, very astute of how that's going to be happening for you.
I've learned. I've gotten better. Elsewhere in week 0, things formally get started as far as FBS football goes with Navy and Notre Dame in Dublin, Ireland at 2:30 on NBC. Now, this game's interesting to me from the standpoint of the new rules that are coming to college football, particularly the lack of the play clock stopping on first downs, except for in the final 2 minutes. Navy's a triple option team. This game might go by really fast if Navy has a couple long possessions.
Absolutely. And this is something that's underrated, worth really looking into in the season, because you've started to hear offensive coaches talking about, your 4-minute drill or killing the clock and kind of sawing away a game if I can have to run the ball. But if the clock is not stopping before that 2 minutes, it really is going to change strategy throughout the game for sure.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting this past weekend when South Carolina scrimmaged, they said they ran 80 plays, which normally it's like, yeah, that's about a normal game's worth of plays for the offense and the defense. But now it's like, is it? Because we're expecting this to cut out 10 to 15 plays per game. So it's like, is your normal game amount of snaps now around 65 or 70 instead?
It could be. It's just going to make teams run faster.
Yeah.
They're going to run more plays. They're going to get to the line, especially the teams that really work within tempo. But this is a big case of them giving us not what we wanted.
Exactly.
Nobody
asked for less football.
We wanted less commercials.
Well, we're not going to get
less stoppages. We didn't want less plays, right? And so they're like, oh, you want the game to go faster? Here, take away more of what you want.
And they are pushing it as a means for player safety, which, as we get into this 12-team playoff, you are inevitably going to ask a team at some point to play 16 games, which at one point was a full NFL season. Now they're up to 17 games, obviously. So there is that part of it. But yes, there's definitely the TV element of it, because anytime you tune in to watch a college football game on a Saturday, they put it in a 3-hour window. So noon to 3, that game doesn't end at 3 o'clock unless it's a 63-10 blowout or something like that. Like a competitive college football game is going to creep into that 3-hour 15, 3-hour 30 mark. And this rule change is supposed to quell that back into that 3-hour window.
And I do like that. I do like the game being in a tighter window. So I'm not above the game being shortened in that capacity, but it's not that the game is taking so long. It's all the extracurriculars around the game.
We know about Red Hat guy that walks out on the field with the big clock.
Yeah.
And it's like 3.5 minutes now or something like that.
It's a long time. And I mean, it even takes the place of timeouts. Seeming like, they can use it so many times to gather. But on the player safety part, I get that by having less plays. The flip side of that, and what I would argue, is that by not having the rest periods in between, you might be exposing the players to more opportunities for injury.
I say this every time there's a major rule change in college football. There are always unintended consequences.
Absolutely.
So you have those less rest periods. There may be teams that still want to run 80 plays a game on offense. They're just going to go that much faster to keep up with the changes in the clock. So at that point, you're making it less safe because you're going even faster without those rest periods. Like there's a lot to this that's not going to be known until we actually start playing these games. But I'm very intrigued to see how this shakes out.
Here's something interesting, and I just thought about this. I have not been a proponent of college coaches and Dow Loggins in this situation touting their NFL experience, because I don't think they necessarily translate.
Right.
But this
that could
might
be
be
an
a place
advantage
where it actually translates, because he's actually used to calling plays with the running clock and getting into the rhythm of those calling plays, while the other college coaches, they will adjust for sure, but they might take them some time. So I've never thought about that, but this is something where I think touting that NFL experience actually does play a positive role.
Yeah, definitely out of the gate, at least in those first couple weeks, that could be something that could pay dividends for Dow Loggins. And we still wait to see what this offense is going to look like.
We don't know.
We've been talking about it since he got hired 8 months ago, and we've yet to see like a legitimate snap of this thing, and we have to wait another 16 days to see that. But yeah, that's something that could definitely play into his favor, at least at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that till literally just now, and that might be something where he's going to be a lot more comfortable calling plays in the rhythm of an NFL style play call, as opposed to a college coach who is used to that, the way that game ebbs and flows.
Right. It is the early game on 107.5 The Game. Again, Tyler head in once again this morning for Bill Gunter as he takes his last couple of vacation days before we get into the grind of football season. Coming up, we'll hit the Love Chevrolet phone line, see Gamecock Larry's been held on for a few minutes. We'll get out to him up next. You are listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
We have over 900 entries in our Men's Clinic of South Carolina's Ultimate Gamecock Season Ticket Contest. Thank you for the overwhelming response. On Monday, August 21st, we'll narrow that list of qualifiers down to 4. The final 4 contestants will be invited to come to our Summer Golf Classic on August 25th, where we will then draw the winner. The Ultimate Gamecock Season Ticket Contest, sponsored by the Men's Clinic of South Carolina, your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
This is Boomer Science with the CBS Sports Minute. Although he needs another week to finish recovering from his shoulder surgery, and he's going home to witness the birth of his child this weekend, Dalvin Cook yesterday signed his new one-year prove-it contract with the New York Jets. Now, kudos to GM Joe Douglas for protecting the team should Cook be suspended or injured, while incentivizing the deal with performance-based bonuses. Smart play by the Jets. I'm Boomer Science.
CBS Sports Radio.
I'm Scott Trout, attorney and CEO of the domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell. We help men deal with the life changes triggered by divorce, such as child custody and property division, among many others. But life changes also occur after divorce. These changes can make parts of your existing court order irrelevant. If you feel a modification to your court orders might be necessary, talk to us at Cordell & Cordell. We're a partner men can count on.
Online at CordellCordell.com. 1201 Main Street, Suite 840, Columbia, South Carolina, 29201. Scott Trout, licensed in Missouri, Illinois, and Georgia only.
Paid for by Cordell & Cordell.
Lowe's knows how to save pros time and money. Right now, take up to 40% off select bathroom vanities. Plus, get free local truck delivery. And there's more. Get a Kohler White Elongated WaterSense toilet. Now just $199. Was $249. That's a savings of $50. Because Lowe's knows saving.
speed limits. Hope you have a great day.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
All right, and welcome back into the early game here on 107.5 The Game. Tyler and Preston along with you, Jen Jensen as well this morning. Again, Bill Gunter going to be out for the next couple days, be back on Monday, and then he should be locked in for the rest of the year as we'll be less than 2 weeks until football kicks off for South Carolina at that point in time. And of course, once we get in the grind football season, we are all locked in because that is our bread and butter here on 107.5 The Game. And I'm excited to experience my first full football season here at 107.5 The Game.
Yeah, so this would be your first time being around here for the whole year.
Yeah, so I came in right before the bowl game last year.
Gotcha. So you actually really even haven't been through a season, lead up to a season, through the season.
I have not.
So you get a chance to experience what Columbia is like. I'm going to be interested in hearing from you, taking notes between Columbia versus Athens. What's the difference? What's the same?
I'm legitimately excited to go to Williams-Brice for the first time. Experience Sandstorm, the whole.
Oh, you've never been before?
I've never been before.
I will say this, and this obviously I'm biased, obviously. But I would say, even if you look around the country, it's one of the most unique experiences in college football. It's really cool. And I have an emotional attachment to it, but just from objectives, it's really cool.
Yeah, it certainly seems that way. And again, it's something that I've seen for years and years and years from the other side of the coin. But I'm excited to experience it in person for the first time. I think it's going to be fun.
Yeah, it'll be cool.
What was your first taste of Williams-Brice Stadium? What was that like for you?
It was amazing, man. Just here in 2001, we played a night game here in 2001, seeing the stadium full at that capacity. I came to maybe one game when I wasn't playing for South Carolina. But it was a day game. They weren't very good. Even though the stadium was rocking, it wasn't the same. But nights at Williams-Brice, that is it's a unique experience.
The energy of football when you've given fans the entire day to anticipate it and enjoy the tailgating and so on and so forth. There's just a different energy than the noon kick.
Yeah, and obviously they've turned it up several notches now with 2001, the light show, the fireworks, all the different things that are happening before the game. It's a production. It's a production. They have in-game production people, and there's different things happening here. Your eyes are going to different places. You're watching. It's a great place to be for sure.
Because when you played here, how big was the scoreboard back then?
Or
the video screen?
It was big for us at the time.
Yeah.
It's very similar to the way we think about TVs now. It's like, man, you got a 36-inch TV?
Right.
It was huge. Man.
I got one of those in my bathroom now, right?
Exactly. So it's very similar to the way we think. The screens just get bigger and bigger and bigger.
I saw a photo the other day. It was from an Alabama game a couple years before Saban got there, and it was showed like a picture of the scoreboard and their video screen and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, that looks ancient now. And it still had like the digital, the light scoreboard instead of the what do you call it? The LED, the high def scoreboards now, where it's like, it looks like the light bulbs looks like something from a little league field.
Yeah. It's we've come a long way. Those are some of the things we definitely take for granted.
Yeah,
as far as technology is concerned.
Yeah, and again, I mean, pretty much every stadium in the SEC is now on that next level, and that's kind of what Vanderbilt's getting to with all this construction we were talking about a few minutes ago. Is they've got a lot of upgrades coming to their facility, but they just won't have it done in time for this season. It looks like.
Also, they got to have people at the games to enjoy.
They do. Well, they have people. They're just not all rooting for Vanderbilt.
It's just everybody's going to Vanderbilt to enjoy Nashville.
Well, that's the thing is now that, and Nashville's always been a destination to a degree, but I think it's really taken off in these past, 5 to 10 years where it's become more of a place that people are going regularly where, hey, we're playing in Nashville this year, playing in Vanderbilt. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
And, for most fan bases, it's not that far of a drive. You can get there pretty quickly and be able to spend the weekend there and stuff. So yeah, they're doing the upgrades to the stadium that, fans of the other team will most likely get to enjoy more than Vanderbilt fans will.
Slow down. I don't know if you know this, but Clark Lee's my guy. He's my sleeper. They're far enough away from us where I can root them on. I can cheer for them.
Yeah,
I can root them on.
It's one of those things. Like I don't have anything against Clark Lee.
Yeah, there's no reason why you probably
No,
would
not at all.
like-
And like I like Derek Mason when he was at Vanderbilt. I thought he was a good fit there, and it was unfortunate when they did let him go. And Clark Lee is obviously an alumni of the school. I think it's a good fit. Like what their ceiling is, they can get over 500 every single year. That's an accomplishment. And routinely making bowl games, they haven't been able to find that consistency. But like they're a long way away from being a national championship contender, obviously.
Yeah, it'll be a long walk for sure.
Absolutely. Well, let's head out to the Love Chevrolet phone lines. Gamecock Larry's been holding on this morning. Gamecock Larry, how you doing today?
I'm doing okay. I don't know how long I'm going to be in this hospital, but I tell you, I'm ready to go home. My daughter won't go home, but I'm doing okay. But I got a few things to say. I want to say Gamecock Lucas. I don't know what's going to go on, and you keep my back, buddy. You call them and get them straight. And Amanda, my nurse, she just come in. I don't know what she's going to do. She done clean me up, got me ready for the day. But I'm going to say one thing. Amanda's great. But let me tell you, I'm got something to say about Georgia. I want to say something to Georgia Bulldog Burt. And this may hit Tyler. Tyler, let me tell you something. Georgia is going to go 12-0 this year, Bulldog Burt. 12-0. 12 arrests, 0 convictions. 12-0. And Amanda is a Syracuse Orange. Boy, she's going to be down the country all the night. Can't wake me up, but I'm going to be okay. I just want to tell all of you all, Gamecock Nation, keep me in your prayers. We're going to be all right. 12-0, Tyler, 12-0. 12 arrests, no convictions. Go Gamecocks. Talk to you later.
All right. We appreciate Gamecock Larry and hope you get back to 100% soon and could certainly get out of the hospital. It does not sound like a fun place to be. He had me for a second because I was like,
He still got the timing.
If Georgia's going to go 12-0, that means South Carolina can't go 12-0. And he's been very adamant that Carolina's going to run the table this year, but that was clever. I'll give him that.
That was a good one. I didn't expect it. That was a good left
He
turn
says
on
he's not 100%. I don't know.
I don't know.
Pretty good.
He still got his fast one. That was a good one.
So I did not realize you guys were familiar with Bulldog Burt.
I am not familiar with
You're not
Bulldog
familiar
Burt.
with Bulldog
Yeah.
Burt.
You're familiar. Are you familiar with Bulldog?
Jen, are you familiar with Bulldog Burt?
I am.
Okay. Because after Georgia won the national championship the first time last year, 2022, he wrote a song about it that I'm not kidding. Our morning show on my previous station played for like 20 minutes straight. And it was good. Like it was an original song. He had like his piano. I forget where in South Carolina he lives, but I remember it was Bulldog Burt that wrote the song, and it was a pretty big hit.
Interesting.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna have to do some source work because you may, and we can talk about this later as we get through, but my brother is also a Bulldogs fan.
That you've told me about this.
Yeah, and so that's our 1 week of contention. I love my brother. Shout out to you, Corey. You my guy. But that's the one time when we have to separate.
So how did he feel when you went to South Carolina?
We called it a ceasefire. We called it
Okay.
truce, and he was very supportive. And for those years, he elected not to cheer against us.
Okay.
He wouldn't cheer for us specifically.
Okay.
But he just would elect not to cheer against us in that game.
I don't want to see you succeed, but I don't want to see you fail either.
Correct.
Basically,
Correct. If he would have hoped for both teams played hard,
right,
and ended in a tie in those games, he would have been happy.
Now
So-
go ahead, Jen.
I was just gonna say. So, what exactly happened to him when he was born? Was he dropped?
That's a really interesting question, and I'm not quite sure. I know my mother's side of the family is all from Georgia, and so that might be part of the propaganda machine.
I gotcha.
There is a very troubling picture of Preston Thorne as a youth in a Georgia Bulldog sweatsuit. that is somewhere, and we're gonna have to make sure we scrub that from all
You
records.
can't let that one get out.
It's because they
At least Photoshop it.
My parents gave Big Brother a chance to dress little brother, and he dressed me in a Georgia Bulldog
You
sweatshirt.
didn't know. You didn't know what was
I
happening.
didn't know what was happening.
Yeah, you didn't know any better.
It's out there. It's out there, and I'm gonna have to strike that from the record somewhere.
Now, was there ever any interest from Georgia when you were being recruited, or any
very,
conversations?
very early, but they didn't come down to the end.
And that would have been Coach Donnan at that point in time, because Rick
Yes.
didn't get there till
Yeah,
2001.
that would have been Jim Donnan. Yeah, that was very early, but they were never no serious consideration.
I gotcha.
Much to my brother's chagrin.
Yeah, I was gonna say you probably got really excited about
Yeah,
that.
once we started thinking that this college football thing was gonna happen, he's like, the Georgia Bulldogs is a good school. I was like, I don't think that's gonna happen. So he would be checking in like, you anything from Georgia?
Mhm.
You anything? No, it
Please?
didn't happen.
Please?
He gave it a shot.
Yeah, he gave it a shot.
All right, we did hear from a lot of players on the defense yesterday. We'll get to a little bit of that sound. Coming up next, you are listening to The Early Game. He's Preston Thorne. I'm Tyler Head. Jen Jensen on the other side of the glass on 107.5 The Game.
Friday, August 25th. Join 107.5 The Game for our football kickoff golf tournament. Our summer golf classic at Charwood Golf Club in West Columbia. 9:30 shotgun start. $100 a person, $400 for a team. Call Charwood at 803-755-2000. Lunch provided by Firehouse Subs. We'll be raffling off football tickets, Carowinds passes, and more. Our football kickoff tournament. The Summer Golf Classic. Friday, August 25th. From your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
No one likes to talk about the injuries, pain, disability, and lost loved ones that result from terrible car and tractor-trailer accidents. I'm Jason Reynolds. At the Samuels Reynolds Law Firm, we're honored to be the lawyers our clients rely on during their toughest moments.
And I'm Stephen Samuels. When a work injury disrupts your life, I work hard to get you the medical treatment and workers' compensation you depend on.
Samuels Reynolds. True injuries, true lawyers. 803-779-4000.
You need a job, but you want a career that lasts a lifetime. The Charleston County Sheriff's Office has that career, so come and get it. With a high school diploma, you can become a detention deputy and jumpstart your career in law enforcement. You'll get benefits and pay raises. You can climb the ranks at our full-service agency. Visit ccsojobs.com or text 888-210-9756 to apply. Visit ccsojobs.com or text 888-210-9756 to apply. Come join us in service beyond the call.
The recent spike in interest rates has many homeowners staying put. If you have a 4% or less mortgage rate, staying in your home long-term makes great sense. Ramjack Foundation Repair wants to remind you that when it comes to maintaining the value of your home, your foundation comes first. Foundation damage can be a serious problem in our area. If you have or suspect foundation damage, the time to call Ramjack is now. Don't allow foundation settlement to jeopardize the value of your largest investment. When it comes time to prioritize home improvement projects, your foundation comes first, and who you choose is critical. Ramjack has spent over 40 years specializing in the science of foundation repair. We aren't roofers or part-time contractors. We are foundation repair specialists trained to identify foundation settlement and offer permanent, affordable solutions. Choose the professionals. Choose Ramjack. Free evaluations, free second opinions. Call 735-3085 or visit ramjack.com on the web. That's ramjack.com.
Be sure to catch the 2023 Gamecock Central preseason kickoff party Saturday, August 19th at Steel Hands Brewing. Part pep rally, part concert, and all party. We'll have food, drinks, music from Patrick Davis and his Midnight Choir, and everything Gamecock football in between. This party is free to attend, but a limited number of VIP tickets still remain. Go to steelhandsbrewing.com, click on the events tab, and scroll down to buy your tickets. Those will get you in early and with a number of perks. Benefiting the Beamer Family Foundation, we'll see you out there Saturday, August 19th at Steel Hands Brewing.
I'm Taylor Bishotti with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. The Ravens may be without one of their defensive leaders to start the season. All-pro cornerback Marlon Humphrey underwent foot surgery after dealing with a lingering issue. NFL Network insiders Ian Rappaport, Mike Garafolo, and Tom Pelissero report Humphrey is expected to miss the beginning of the 2023 season, but head coach John Harbaugh says he doesn't expect Humphrey's absence to be a long-term one. We got our first look at Ezekiel Elliott in a Patriots uniform Wednesday. The former Cowboys running back participated in a joint practice with the Packers after signing a one-year deal with the Pats. Double good news for the Raiders. All-pro receiver Devontae Adams was back at practice for the first time since injuring his leg last week. And the team activated first-round pick Tyree Wilson off the non-football injury list. The former Texas Tech defensive end is now free to practice for the first time since undergoing foot surgery last year. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Staples presents a lesson in back-to-school savings. Your local Staples now accepts Amazon returns. So when you return your Amazon order at Staples, you receive a coupon for $10 off your next $30 Staples purchase. So you can save even more on top of huge back-to-school deals. Like right now, 2 pocket poly folders and Staples 8-count number 2 pencils are each just 50 cents. Staples gives you more ways to save even more. 50-cent offers end 8/26. Pricing and limits may vary in-store and online. Amazon return offer in-store only. Exclusions apply.
Your next success begins with University of Maryland Global Campus. For more than 75 years, UMGC has offered working adults an affordable, accredited education. Choose from more than 125 degrees and certificates and enjoy online and hybrid courses, financial resources, and lifetime career services. UMGC has what you need to succeed again. No application fee if you apply by August 31st. Learn more at umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
1075 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 1075 The Game.
Good morning, everyone. From the First Alert Traffic Center, I'm meteorologist Chandler Jordan. A-OK across the region if you happen to be starting your commute anytime soon. A little earlier this morning, northbound on I-77, especially throughout portions of Chester and York counties. There were a couple of accidents, but it seems like everything has been cleared up, which means that for your commute this morning, it should be pretty smooth sailing across the region. And just make sure you're continuing to practice the normal safe driving tips of plenty of following distance and following the speed limits. Hope you have a great day.
What you're talking about.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet. 1075 The Game.
Welcome back into the early game here on 107.5 The Game. Preston and I having a laugh about our recreation baseball days as we see highlights of this year's Little League World Series that's ongoing. It's crazy to me that these kids were born in like 2012 now, because I remember watching it when I was a kid, like, oh man, they seem like grown-ups to me. And now it's like, wow, like I would have remembered when that kid was born.
This is going to be a shout out for a very specific age group and demographic, but there was a Nintendo game called Little League Baseball.
Okay.
Where they had all the teams from around the world, and you could pick each team. And that was another way that you sort of get yourself familiar with geography.
Sure.
Because it's like, oh man, Chinese Taipei, they're always good. Let me pick them. And so you would pick the teams, and they had sort of the way you figured out who was going to pitch. So that was definitely a moment in time.
That's a nice throwback there.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know they had that.
That was a game.
The closest thing to that I remember is like, it was like Little League backyard baseball or something.
Okay, that might have been like a remix or a redux.
Yeah, something like that. That's the closest thing that I can remember.
Yeah. Little League Baseball. If you play Little League Baseball, give us a shout.
All right, we did hear from some defensive players yesterday, and I know you've been waiting to hear from some of these defensive linemen. So I'll get to a little bit of their sound. Start off with cut number 20 here. This is TJ Sanders talking about the biggest area of growth through camp so far.
I've been trying to work on a lot of my pre-snap reads, you know what I'm saying, getting an idea on where the zone might be going, or if it's a pull here and there. And I just definitely feel like my pre-snap has gotten much better than it was. I never really keyed anything how I'm keying them now, and I feel like it's taking my game to a new level. And as far as my run game, I definitely feel like I've improved that tremendously since where I was day one.
All right, Preston, take us inside the head of a defensive lineman and break down what he had to say.
Ooh, that was pretty juicy. I like that. The first and foremost thing, if you were familiar with TJ, he was more of a basketball guy, and I don't think he fancied himself as a run stopper. So to hear him say that's something that he's had to work on makes a lot of sense, because oftentimes those guys don't really love getting in there and playing around. I'm sure he loves rushing the passer.
Sure.
But that run stuff is not for him. But pre-snap reads, hugely important. We don't think about defensive linemen having a lot of things that are happening pre-snap, but one of the things he said was really simply, like, is he pulling or is he not pulling? So the way you would maybe possibly determine that is if the offensive lineman is backed up off the ball a little bit to give them a little bit of space. Sometimes if they're not wearing gloves, you can see whether there's pressure on their knuckles. The knuckles will get a little bit lighter if they're putting a lot of pressure on them. If they are putting pressure on the knuckles, that might mean that they're running the ball at you, as opposed to if their knuckles are light. They're probably, especially those fat offensive linemen. Hope you're out there listening, all you OL. Shout out to Coach Beckwith, Nashawn, whoever's out there listening. But, they can't hide what they're doing. So they're always going to try and find a way to cheat. They're going to lean. They're going to bend. They're going to do all that stuff because they're not actually great athletes. So you can pick up a lot of keys and habits of what they're actually trying to do. And the best offensive linemen are the ones that don't give those things away.
No love lost for the offensive lineman, right?
Yeah, got to give them a little bit of something.
One more cut here. Speaking of a defensive lineman, Tonka Hemingway, talking a little bit about personal growth through camp so far.
I'd probably say in the run game, a good bit. I've been trying to harp on that, get better at that. I know technique, you want to have great technique. So I've been trying to harp on that and get better at that as these weeks come.
And obviously that's been one of the big points of conversation this entire offseason is improving on stopping the run. And again, you and I have had this conversation before. It's easier said than done, obviously. And going back to what TJ Sanders was talking about a moment ago, you are trying to shore up that technique and get the finer things better to hopefully improve in that area.
Yeah, again, we don't tend to think of defensive linemen as being a strong technique position.
Right.
We often fall in love with the measurables, how big is he, how strong is he? But there is a lot of technique that goes into playing defensive line, and that might be hand placement, that might be foot placement, reading blocks, being able to push, pull, all of those really sort of nerdy, dorky things that happen within the trenches, aside from the fighting that you actually see. And it's interesting to hear that that's an emphasis from these guys because we have not heard that being an emphasis from them in the future. And I'm wondering if that's a direct correlation or direct line from Travian Robinson being in the room and what he stresses. And again, him having the lineage of Brad Loying, knowing where Brad Loying stressed, I'm sure Travian teaches some of the same things, and they're going to be very heavy on focusing on technique.
Now, Tonka Hemingway is somebody that has the ability to play on the inside and the outside. You can use him as that edge spot too. And I know people look at guys that play on the front line of the defense as, they're all interchangeable. How hard is it to be a defensive lineman that can also play that edge spot too?
Yeah, it's two different skill sets. It's very much different skill sets and different mindsets also. Essentially, Tonka's really special because he's a swing guy. He can do both. What Tonka is a true tweener for on the defensive line, and where that's going to play out is he's probably going to be not quite fast enough to be a exclusive edge guy, but he's also probably not quite big enough to be your prototypical run stopper. And that means either that's a positive or a negative because he can do a little bit of both. And that's probably going to be served this defensive line very well for him being able to substitute or him being able to fit in wherever they have a weakness. So it is totally two different skill sets for sure.
And as now we are 2 full weeks in camp, 2 more weeks to go before season starts. Obviously, everything that we've heard from all these players about Travian Robertson's time here so far has been positive. Everybody seems to love the guy. And again, we'll see what happens once we get into playing actual games. But again, everything we've heard so far has been great.
Going back to that TJ Sanders also, it's important about the pre-snap stuff because you only get a chance to get into the pre-snap stuff once you're not necessarily scared of making a mistake. Your first year playing, you don't have time. Your mind is so cluttered with all the people are screaming, the players are bigger than you, they're faster, and you're just trying to survive. You don't know what's actually happening. So to hear him talk about making pre-snap reads, and that just to me sounds like the game is slowing down a little bit for him, and he's just trying to make sense of what is going on. Your first year playing, most likely at any position, but definitely in the trenches, it's just survival mode. You don't have the luxury of, is this guy pulling? Is he gonna? You just like, can I survive to the next play?
How long does it take to become numb to the environment and kind of be able to focus more?
That probably depends on your talent level. How good are you? That's one. But I would probably say at least a year, if not 2, to really just get into where, this game is just like practice. The practice is just like the game.
Right.
And everything's sort of moving at your mind at the same speed. That's That's what people mean when they say that the game has slowed down. All they mean is that I can actually focus on playing instead of all of the other extracurricular activities that are happening.
Speaking of those mechanics of playing the defensive line, Larry weighs in on the live stream. Wants to know, how did you handle an O lineman when you were overmatched by weight and height?
Very good. I frequently fell into that category because I was an undersized defensive lineman. The trick about being an undersized defensive lineman is that what they don't tell you is that the game is played low anyway. So being able to use that to one of my advantages was what worked for me. So keeping the game low, staying below my pad level, and then trying to get off the ball a little bit faster than they would. So using quickness and pad level was the only things I could use to survive. Because if I tried to play the game up high with some of those monsters, I wouldn't stand any chance. So that's why the idea of focusing on technique really rings true to me, because if my technique was not sound, I couldn't get away with some of the things that maybe some of the other bigger, stronger, faster guys could.
Right. We'll continue to hear from players.
Nerdy D-line talk. Here we go.
I was going to say, I think it was perfect that we had some defensive line sound, because I knew you could sink your teeth into that. But we did hear from some other guys on the defense as well. Want to let you listen to a little bit of Debo on the other side, as he talked about being a football guy. And we'll get Preston's definition of what a football guy truly is. That's coming up. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
How would you like season tickets to all Gamecocks football games, baseball games, men's and women's basketball games?
Well, now you can.
It's the ultimate Gamecock season ticket giveaway, sponsored by the Men's Clinic of South Carolina.
Not feeling like yourself? Call the Men's Clinic at 803-875-MENS. You can win tickets to every USC football game at Williams-Brice.
South Carolina punctuates a massive upset.
Every Gamecock baseball game at Founders Park.
The Gamecocks strike first, a 2-run shot for Ethan Petrie.
Every men's and women's hoops games at the CLA.
One undefeated team left in the nation. It's the South Carolina Gamecocks.
Just go to 1075thegame.com and register to win
The ultimate season ticket giveaway.
Sponsored by the Men's Clinic of South Carolina, from your home of the Gamecocks. 1075 The Game.
Sponsored by Molina Healthcare. Feel better with Molina Healthcare.
When it comes to your health, 2 experts are better than 1. That's why Molina Healthcare partners with Sandhills Medical Foundation, so you get the benefits you need to stay healthy and care from providers you trust. Choose Molina. Learn more today at meetmolinasouthcarolina.com.
Sponsored by New Kentucky Fried Chicken Nuggets. New Kentucky Fried Chicken Nuggets. This back-to-school season, get your family a 10-piece of KFC's original recipe chicken nuggets for just $5. Tender, juicy, hand-breaded, made with 100% white meat. You've never had nuggets like these. That's finger-licking good.
Mobile phones, laptops, video games, social media. It's time to unplug, rev up, and get out into the real world on a Honda CRF dirt bike. Honda's family of rugged, reliable CRF trail and dirt bikes are a great way to get out and get connected as a family. From young riders to experience, they have the Honda dirt bikes in stock and ready to ride. Carolina Honda Powerhouse. Just take exit 70 off I-20 or visit carolinahonda.com. Intended for off-road operation only. Parents need to consider a rider's age, size, ability, and maturity before allowing them to ride.
Hedale Wine Pool and Spa is your one-stop shop for all things swimming pools and hot tubs. New construction of vinyl, fiberglass, or gunite swimming pools, as well as liner replacements, weekly maintenance, repairs to existing equipment, or upgrades. Come see us at 5541 Sunset Boulevard to check out our full line of spas and where we offer free water samples and all the chemicals you need to keep your pool and spa clear and clean. Hedale Wine Pool and Spa. You'll find us on Facebook or online at HedaleWinePools.com.
Preston Thorne here for the Red Shirt Guys Roofing, where they believe roofing is a craft, not a commodity. They are committed to staying up to date on the latest installation techniques and products. That's why they are the Midland's highest rated roofing company. The Red Shirt Guys do the right thing on and off the roof, and they will be here long after the job is complete. Residential or commercial, choose the Red Shirt Guys Roofing. Request a free quote online or call them. 243-3968. TheRedShirtGuys.com.
There's no better place to be on a fall Saturday than at Williams-Brice Stadium. Secure your tickets today to catch a game this fall. Visit thegamecockclub.com for more information. Whatever the game, whoever you're with, just catch a game.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring sergeants and lieutenants statewide. If you have correctional, security, military, or police experience, you can join SCDC as a sergeant or lieutenant. There's a $7,500 sign-on bonus and increased pay for most security positions. Start a rewarding new career with great benefits today. Visit joinscdc.com to apply now or call 803-734-JOBS for more information.
Achieve an insanely clean home with Zero Risk Carpet Cleaning. Call now and mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game to get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129 or schedule online at zeroriskcolumbia.com.
Sponsored by SC Johnson Off.
Off clean feel, so I can accessorize with studs and not with mosquitoes. I can wear my classic white crop and flag panel jeans and know that I'm covered with 8 hours of not sticky, fragrance-free protection. Get your pre-party protection on with Off Clean Feel, SC Johnson.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
We do have one accident to let you know about, and that is Highway 1 at I-20. So be careful approaching that area if you would. 92 for the high today, 94 tomorrow. Humidity should be going down a little bit, so we will take that. And then sunny and 93 for Saturday. Right now, though, 74 at 107.5 The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
Discover Herndon Certified, Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence, knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
The early game
With Bill Gunter, former Gamecock Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
Welcome back into the early game here on 107.5 The Game. Tyler, Preston, Jen Jensen with you this morning. Reminding you once again about the Ultimate Gamecock season ticket giveaway that is live on 1075thegame.com. Just look for the Ultimate Gamecock season ticket emblem. Give it a click, fill out that form for your chance to win tickets to every home football game, every home men and women's basketball game, and every home baseball game. And Preston has an interesting update for Monday morning.
Monday at 7:25, we're going to announce the final 4 contestants in the contest. Then we're going to invite you to the golf tournament so that you can be there when we pick the winner. So make sure that you're there. We're going to, at 7:25, tune on in. We'll be here. We're going to invite the final 4 contestants, and then you can meet us on Friday at the golf contest.
Absolutely. So a couple more days to get yourself entered there for a chance to win the Ultimate Gamecock season ticket giveaway. I mentioned Debo was speaking to the media yesterday and had an interesting quote about what makes him a football guy. Here's what he had to say.
We had it's 120 guys on the team. I want to say like 25 of us got this from making every practice, every workout. You didn't fail anything during the workout. So our time runs, you didn't fail anything. You got through all the weighted stuff we were doing, whether it's bench press or everything. You hit your max goals. And so I think like literally 20 of us got it, or 25 out of the whole team, So I wear this proudly, because I put in a lot of work to get it, So
Who else? Is that a fair assumption of what a football guy is?
No.
No.
That just means Debo works very hard. He's dedicated.
Okay.
He's tough. I don't know if that's necessarily football guy.
What is your definition of football guy?
There's some things that football guys do that distinguishes you from the rest of it. Now, I will say, I know we have some other audio from Debo when he talked about waking up in the morning wanting to hit somebody. That's one key distinction of football guy.
I believe in, and Jen, do we have cut 14 at the ready?
It can be in about 10 seconds.
Okay.
Well,
that is one distinction. The idea of I wake up in the morning and I think about hurting somebody, definitely key football guy move.
Okay, so here is what Preston is alluding to from Debo yesterday.
I wake up and think kill.
Boom. That's football
That's
guy.
football guy.
Yeah. It's not that you made all the workouts. It's not that you gained all the exercise sessions or you were present for all the meetings. That's fine. That just means you're dedicated. You're compliant. You're a good soldier. But if you wake up in the morning and you think, kill, that's qualifications for football guy.
And it's also qualifications for working with Bill every weekday morning.
So we need to transpose that. What does Jen think on every morning on a commute to work?
Kill.
Kill Bill. There we go.
Oh
Kill
my gosh,
Bill
look
1
at that. See?
Kill Bill 1 and 2.
Oh,
Or
man.
3, the sequel.
The
I'm sure
sequel, there it is.
the trilogy will be coming at some point.
So who are some quintessential football guys when you think of football guys?
Let's see. The football guy. This is gonna be a tough one.
We can stretch this out throughout
Let's
the
stretch
show.
this out a little bit because I do think one is obviously the love of contact, the love of the physicality of the game. There's also a lot of old linemen might characterize for football guy.
Yeah.
If they're not bothered by bodily fluids going other places.
Right.
Anybody that throws up and keeps going, football guy, blood, those are football guy type things.
We'll pose this question to you, the listeners as well.
There we go.
Firehouse Subtext on 803-404-6100. Hit us on the live stream as well. Quintessential football guys. This can be players. This can be coaches. This can be anybody in the realm of the football world. Who are your football,
I love football
guys? Because there's a lot out there.
Yes.
I mean, Dan Campbell, the Lions head coach.
Campbell is football
Man
guy.
Campbell is a football guy
No doubt
through
about
and through. So let us know your favorite football guys. We'll hit some of that as the morning goes along. Up next, though, a new NIL rule in the state of Missouri. Got to talk about your boy Dirkwitz coming up next. Hour number 2 of the early game here on 107.5 The Game.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
This is Gamecock kicker Mitch Jeter. You're listening to the home of Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
A Cumulus media station.
Fresh produce is the best produce. That's why at Kroger, we invest in local farmers to bring you the freshest seasonal picks. So no matter how you shop, your local produce always tastes 100% fresh, or you get a 100% refund, guaranteed. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Get summer festival savings on fresh Heritage Farm chicken split breast. On sale now for just $1.29 a pound if you're gone. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Hi, this is Marcy Delaney from Spa 131. If you're anything like me, having your photo taken is torture. Michael Woodland at Essential Headshots makes it so easy and pleasant. Remember that your headshots are your professional calling card. Call Michael today and see why it's easy when you hear headshots are essential to present your best.
Call today at 803-250-6837. That's 803-250-6837.
Essential Headshots.
I've been taking Nutrafol 4.5 years.
My hair was thinning.
I was under a lot of stress.
I like Nutrafol because it's drug-free and the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement.
My hair feels thicker,
stronger.
Nutrafol has taken me back to the hair I was meant to have.
Join the 1 million people growing at Nutrafol.com. That's Nutrafol.com. These statements and products have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition. Paid for by Nutraceutical Wellness, Inc.
To your left, our new exhibit, Monarchs of Springfield. And right here, we have our empty tour guide stand.
The last time Bryn hired someone is ancient history.
Sir, excuse me, that's not part of the exhibit.
They need tour guides who know the museum ropes.
Hey, you like wearing khakis? I got a job for you.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
You know, it's not just
you need a job,
preseason
but you want a
time.
career that lasts a lifetime. The Charleston County Sheriff's Office has that career. So come and get it. With a high school diploma, you can become a detention deputy and jumpstart your career in law enforcement. You'll get benefits and pay raises. You can climb the ranks at our full-service agency. Visit ccsojobs.com or text 888-210-9756 to apply. Once again, visit ccsojobs.com or text 888-210-9756 to apply. Come join us in service beyond the call.
You know, it's not just preseason time for football players. It's preseason time for you. You got to get yourself ready for big tailgates this fall. I mean, these tailgates only come around 12, 13 times a year. You don't want to let the rest of the family down. So right now, today, tomorrow, you want to start preparing properly by stopping by Old Timey Meat Market and picking up one of their great selections of steak, of pork, of chicken, of beef, maybe of a salmon, some fish, whatever it is, and you want to get a nice little practice in this weekend on that grill or smoker. And Old Timey Meat Market is the first fundamental way you start a great tailgate, because they've got the absolute best selection of various cuts and grades of beef, pork, poultry, seafood, even exotic meat. Florida comes to town this weekend. Are you ready? Or not this weekend. Florida comes to town in October. Are you ready to grill a little alligator? See, that's what preseason's all about. So go visit one of the 3 locations at Old Timey Meat Market: St. Andrews, South Congaree, or Lexington. Of course, we will likely find me. Old Timey Meat Market has been serving families here in the Midlands and making sure that they are happy with those great selections of cuts of meat each and every time. They'll continue to do it the right way. So go visit them. Again, 3 locations: St. Andrews, South Congaree, or Lexington. That's Old Timey Meat Market. Stop by. Tell them you heard it here on 107.5 The Game with Bill Gunner.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive makes bundling easy and affordable. Get a multi-policy discount by combining your motorcycle, RV, boat, ATV, and more. All your protection in one place. Bundle and save at progressive.com.
Have you been debating if you should replace your old HVAC unit? What if you could get up to $5,300 off the cost of a new unit today? Call AAA Heating and Air, 803-677-1500 for a free estimate to see what AAA Heating and Air can do for you. Let their comfort advisors inform you of the current Inflation Reduction Act, which can offer a huge tax credit. Call AAA Heating and Air today. Tell them Bill Gunner sent you.
AAA Air, when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
What you're talking about
on 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet. No hassles, no all-day runarounds, no ridiculous add-on stickers. At Love Chevy, buying a car is fun. South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads. The early game
with Bill Gunter.
Eli the Golden Eagle hatched out of his papier-mâché egg on November 17th, 1993, before the start of an exhibition basketball game. Exhibition.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne and Jen Jensen.
Exhibition.
Oh.
I got it the first time.
I appreciate Preston so much.
Wow.
On your home of the Gamecocks.
The theme of this show. I don't know what happened.
107.5 The Game.
You play for the University of Missouri. You represent the entire state. 6.5 million of us, and we are very proud of you. And part of the pushing of this is so that you can receive your part. Really an exciting day, and it's a day that gives the University of Missouri a chance to lead from the front. And that's what I think all of us want to be known for, is leading from the front.
Welcome back into the early game, hour number 2. Tyler Head in for Bill Gunter once again this morning. Preston Thorne alongside me, Jen Jensen on the other side of the glass. Preston, that was your favorite person, Eli Drinkwitz.
As I've told everybody, there is an official ceasefire and a truce has been
for the time being.
But he's starting to talk a lot.
He is.
I saw a video of him the other day. It got
in camo shorts,
long camo shorts, very long camo shorts, cargo
camo shorts.
Long. I breezed by it because I didn't want to get started again, but I'm here for it.
Now, what he was talking about in those couple cuts was something that has him very excited, and many people in the state of Missouri, as the state has a new NIL bill or NIL law that is coming into effect on August 28th, just in time for this season to start. A lot of specifics of this bill, things you need to know: high school athletes that commit to in-state universities, once they sign their national letter of intent in December, if early signing day, they can start earning NIL endorsements even before they get on campus. So that last 5-6 months of your senior year, after you sign that NLI, you can start receiving endorsements, and coaches can now be at the negotiating tables with the athletes and with collectives and whoever's trying to get involved with these NILs and help be a part of this conversation.
A lot to break down from this. There are several different issues that could come about from this. The first one is a lot of states are taking initiatives in forming their own NIL ideas. The idea that high school athletes can obtain NIL is not exclusive to Missouri. A lot of other states have passed that law.
Yes.
The part that's unique about this specific law is that it's connected to the in-state universities. So that if you're in-state, presumably you can receive NIL opportunities from, we're presuming, associated collectives with the universities.
It's essentially an incentive-based model to try and keep these guys. And look, Missouri's not, it's not California, it's not Georgia, it's not Texas, it's not one of the top producing talent states when it comes to college football, but you still have good talent. In fact, they just signed, conveniently enough, 5-star defensive end Williams Nawari the other day from an in-state school in Missouri. And once he signs his national letter of intent in December, he will be able to start benefiting from NIL immediately.
Right. And so it is an effort to keep players in state. It's one way. There's so many different caveats of how this could and could not work, ways that it can get messed up. But I do appreciate the effort of being forward thinking, keeping students in state. Is very similar to other in-state scholarships that universities have. Like, South Carolina has a life scholarship. Georgia has a in-state scholarship for students. What's it called in Georgia?
The Hope Scholarship.
Hope Scholarship. Yeah. That's the way I'm thinking about it in my mind. It's something that encourages in-state participation at your in-state universities. Now, what is NIL? That's the thing that throws it off, because I'm not sure if they're actually going to be participating in actual sponsorship opportunities or actual using their name and likeness, or is this just going to be a payment? I don't think that it should just be a payment.
Sure.
But if there are legit opportunities for them to promote, whether that's promoting their high school or promoting the university to other incoming freshmen, I'm okay with that.
Well, I think it's significant that this 5-star defensive end that they landed is going to be one of the first to be able to benefit from this, because we're going to be able to see, okay, what's this going to look like? How are companies going to go about this, or people that are going to be interested in contributing to somebody that at that point in time will not be on campus playing actual football games for another 8 to 9 months or whatever it may be, depending on, again, when they sign, whether it be in December or, in February. But this is something that I could see. And like you said, this isn't the only state that has something like this. I could see a lot more states following suit with this trend.
Yeah, they're the first state that I know of that has connected it to the in-state university. Other states have allowed opportunities for high schoolers to be available or eligible for NIL opportunities. They're the first state to make that connection. The second part of that connection is that it's affiliated with a third party, as in the collectives, etc. That's where it gets a little bit tricky, because now we're not talking about individual businesses. We're talking about strict, direct, not interference. Collusion is not the word either, but direct collaboration with those other universities.
And again, a big part of this as well is the coach is allowed to be at the negotiating table now with the athletes and with the NIL entity, which is also something that's very, very new, because typically up to this point, the coaches obviously handle the recruiting part of it and basically say, hey, we think we have some opportunities here, but not knowing what the specifics of those are, not being able to, again, have any hands on those specific negotiations. Now that changes. Now Eli Drinkwitz can be at the table with these guys when they're talking with these NIL entities about what these deals are going to be.
Again, this is where it gets tricky, because I don't know if I want Eli Drinkwitz at the table with me when I'm having a discussion about my NIL with an individual entity. I don't know if he has my specific best interest. Sure, he wants to give me more money, but I don't know if he's negotiating on 100% my behalf with the university. I don't know.
He wants to make sure you're not making more than his brother that saves lives, right?
Right. So, I mean, I guess this is a good thing, but I don't know if that's, and I'm not, again, ceasefire.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's his specialty. I don't know if he's going to be able to get me the best deal. Probably with the collectives, he has a direct line to it, but I'm just talking about other entities. I don't know if that's something that we need to be having this conversation about. That's why I have separate agents. If we're talking about the way this thing works in the NFL or any other business, I don't go to my team to get the same deals that I go for my individual personal benefits. So there is a little bit of mixing that I don't know is necessarily the best for the player. I understand that it's probably supposed to be for their protection, but I would be cautious of that.
One other thing about this, and again, this is only for universities within the state of Missouri. Again, it's an incentive to try and keep some home state
essentially,
talent.
Other states are going to follow suit. In this,
Eventually, most
100%.
likely. Again, you're with the NCAA not really having any guidelines for what NIL can be and allowing states to kind of do whatever they want at this point, then yeah, you're going to see more states follow suit with something either similar or even more extreme to this. I will say there is one thing in here because this is involving only the in-state universities. The colleges will be required to offer 2 workshops a calendar year to athletes to address financial skills, time management, and entrepreneurship. And that's something that we've talked about a lot with NIL is you're giving 18, 19, 20-year-olds, in some cases, very much life-changing money they've never seen before in their lives. And some of them don't know what to do with it, how to manage it, how to handle it. So there is at least something in here that the college say, hey, we're giving more of these athletes opportunities to make money. You got to make sure they know what they're doing.
Yes. However, if you're listening out there, I'm sure you've taken a corporate training before. This will probably come in some similar form or fashion as the corporate training that you have to breeze through or fast forward through that you've listened to. So in 2 sessions, they're going to cover financial literacy, entrepreneurship, time management. Good luck.
And it's kind of one of those things like, are they going to really go in depth and try and teach them something? Or are they just going to try and check a box to say that we did it?
Yeah.
And again, that's kind of up to the individual universities themselves.
And this is where it's several different conversations, because if it's, Preston Thorne, mid-level roster guy who has an endorsement from Sandy's Hot Dogs, as opposed to Spencer Rattler, who has a different level of endorphins, we're not talking about the same level of financial literacy. Because I'm like, yeah, man, I got $100 in a gift card. I got $100 in gift cards. It's not a lot of financial literacy that needs to be had for that. Whereas the other person, they're having totally different conversations.
Right. And again, as I say, when there's any rule change in college football, and we now loop NIL in this as well, there's unintended consequences. And there's things
of course
that are going to happen down the road. Be like, I didn't think about that, but I could see how that would happen. And this is something that, again, I think will inspire a lot of states going forward to where it might get even more extreme, where maybe you don't have to sign the NLI to where, okay, once you verbally commit to said university, you can start benefiting from NIL, and then you start flipping commitments, and then it gets
also
all kind of messy.
How early can I sign this NLI? Can I sign it early signing day? When do I have to sign this?
As far as I know right now, it's still the earliest December, which if you're an early enrollee, you would theoretically be coming in a month later. So I don't know how big of a difference that makes, but a lot of guys do sign in December and wait to come in late May, like DJ Braswell, one of those guys that we knew was committed to the Gamecocks, signed an early signing day, and then did not come in until the end of May. So there's still going to be some of these athletes that are in high school for another 5-6 months that are going to be able to benefit from NIL while they're still there.
They'll be able to walk through the high school cafeteria and be like, I got this.
Yeah, I got this,
Don't worry
guys.
about it.
Chicken tenders on me today.
It's all on me.
I love that. I can see Preston strutting his stuff. I got you. I got you. I got you.
It's Friday pizza day. I got it.
At the same time, we all inevitably had that friend like, hey, man, let me get like $1 or let me get like $5 that, it's just going to make him worse, right?
Go to the French fry station. Give me everything you got.
Like, man, you just signed that deal with the local car dealership. I know you got the money. Like, help me out here.
Yeah, you don't want to be the person that has to spot for lunch for everybody.
No.
It's like, person, you going to McDonald's? No, I'm not.
No, I'm not. I am. You're not.
Exactly. Yeah, because high school lunch is always beg, borrow, and steal type of situation anyway.
It is.
Right?
There's negotiating.
Always.
Like, hey, I know you don't eat that. If I give you this, I'll get that. They used to have in high school the like scalloped potatoes. They always gave us those on Fridays with chicken tenders. I loved those. And like I would literally collect like 5 or 6 of them from my friends because they didn't like them.
Or there might be an off-campus situation where I have the car to get off campus, you don't. So you pay for my lunch for us to
Yeah,
go
like
get
I
lunch.
will take you.
Yeah. There's always some negotiating that's always happening in high school.
That's right.
I'm thinking back to even like elementary school and when the lady would come by and make sure that you were eating your lunch. And it's like if a kid got up and went to get milk, you'd put your stuff on the tray that you didn't want and put it on his, so that it's like, well, you didn't finish this yet. Because we had one lunch lady that just did that a lot. Or, there was the good old fashioned, how much food can you cram into the milk carton, that you don't want to eat?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
How can I just, push the food around enough to make it seem like I ate these peas, but I didn't?
Yep.
I had a friend in high school who was always really nice to the lunch ladies. Hey, how you doing today? And you look nice today. And when I say he got like the best portions of food every single day,
that is a definite skill in life.
Absolutely.
Be kind to the people who serve your food. You might end up getting some more.
Mm-hmm.
We'll jump back into our football guy conversation on the other side. Since we are talking about Eli Drinkwitz here in this segment about NIL, let's go through the SEC coaches and decide which ones are football guys and which ones aren't. That's coming up. You're listening to The Early Game, 107.5 The Game.
Friday, August 25th. Join 107.5 The Game for our football kickoff golf tournament. Our summer golf classic at Charwood Golf Club in West Columbia. 9:30 shotgun start. $100 a person, $400 for a team. Call Charwood at 803-755-2000. Lunch provided by Firehouse Subs. We'll be raffling off football tickets, Carowinds passes, and more. Our football kickoff tournament, the Summer Golf Classic, Friday, August 25th, from your home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
free right now at 107.5 The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you the early game
With Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Shen Jensen.
on your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Welcome back into the early game on 107.5 The Game. Tyler, Preston, and Jen along with you on this Thursday morning. Quick reminder, next Friday, August 25th, going to have our summer golf tournament, getting you everything kicked off for football season at the Charbour Golf Club in West Columbia. If you want to take part, it's $100 per person and $400 per team. Going to be raffling off football season tickets, pair tickets, or some tickets to the home opener against Furman, as well as passes to Carowinds. Lunch can be provided by Firehouse Subs. All get started at 9:30 with a shotgun start. If you want to take part, give Charbour a call at 803-755-2000 register. Again, 803-755-2000 to register. We're talking about football guys this morning after Debo. I think somebody else was wearing the football guy shirt yesterday. I forget who it was, but Debo had one of those on yesterday. Got posed a question about being a football guy. And Preston, you mentioned this in one of our commercial breaks. Who in the SEC, as far as head coaches goes, are definitively football guys and who aren't? So I feel like it's only right that we go through the SEC and figure this out ourselves.
I like it. I like it.
Just going to go alphabetically here. Got to start at the top with Alabama. Nick Saban, a football guy?
I mean, 1,000%.
I think that's kind of a no-brainer.
1,000,000%. The thing that makes Nick Saban a football guy was last year when he had a hip surgery at 70 plus and was just like, all right, I'll be back. And he was back out there coaching the same way that like he never left.
Well,
definite football guy.
Because with Nick Saban, I think he's like 71, 72. Like, there's a realistic possibility he could coach into his 80s. Like, that's not that far off. And I don't think any of us would be shocked by it.
Yeah.
Like Bill Snyder, football guy, because he coached for 1,000 years.
Yeah,
you know what I
longevity.
mean?
There's also this idea of being around the game for such a long period of time.
Yes.
That makes you a football guy.
Arkansas, Sam Pittman. I think he's definitely a football guy.
O-line coach?
Yeah.
O-line coach definitely gives you a leg up in the conversation. How does he celebrate victories with a cold beer?
A cold beer.
Cold beer.
And turn that jukebox up.
Turning the jukebox up makes you a football guy, 100%.
Hugh Freeze at Auburn.
Ugh.
Now, if you remember, Hugh Freeze once coached a game from a hospital bed. That's football guy tendencies right there. Like, nothing's keeping me away from coaching this game.
From the from the press box in the hospital bed, he still managed to get some plays off.
He
Still
did.
was dialing up ball plays.
Now, I think they got shut out by Syracuse that night, but still.
Yeah, we're going to have to give it to him.
Okay, we'll give him that nod on that one. Billy Napier at Florida.
Well, you know the moniker Boring Billy.
Yeah.
He's a good coach. Everybody talks about what type of coach he is. When I first think about Billy, I don't think necessarily football guy. That's not the first thing that comes to my mind.
Okay.
But I think he is, but I'm going to hold off on him. Maybe this is a tiered ranking. He's definitely not in the top tier.
We haven't seen enough of his personality yet to truly know. Kirby Smart at Georgia, football guy.
The haircut.
The haircut.
Yeah. The total disregard for personal grooming.
Hey, why spend time getting a haircut when you can spend time watching film?
That's wasted time. Wasted time.
I saw a picture the other day and somebody had like him when he was a player, him when he was like an assistant at LSU, him when he was the DC at Alabama, and now him now. The exact same. And I guarantee you, he still probably goes to the same place in Athens and gets like a $12 haircut from the same person.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely going to a Supercuts or whatever franchise. He's not going to
go to Great Clips and sit next to Kirby Smart.
Yeah. He's definitely on that tune.
Or it could be one of those things like his wife, you know, is like, I'll cut it. I got it.
You might be too young for this. Remember Floby? They had it was the
Oh yeah, it was basically using like a hair dryer or a vacuum.
Yeah, it was like a
to
vacuum
cut
that
your
they used
hair.
to cut your hair and it would
Oh.
take up the clippings at the same time. It was a real like late night commercial thing
Okay.
where you just be like, oh, the Flowbee. That's interesting. I
I-
imagine Kirby Smart's still using his 1998 Flowbee on his hair.
I'll see if I can get to my insider sources to confirm that or not. Mark Stoops at Kentucky.
The cop glasses
That's a good
on the
point.
sideline.
Yeah.
He didn't elect for anything else. What makes him football guy is the style of football that his team plays.
Yeah, very old school.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not interested in anything extra besides, they were bringing the lunch pail, the hammer, all of those types of things.
Got to get the hard hat, man.
Hard hat. Yeah, he's football guy for sure.
Brian Kelly at LSU.
Listen, he's won at every location that he wins at. He has no problem adapting to the local culture just to get players. There's no issue with
Like-
any of that. You need me
Wow.
to be this guy at Central Valley State? Cool.
I didn't realize Brian Kelly was from Louisiana.
Do I need to eat spicy crawfish to land this recruit? No problem. I'm on it.
I imagine Brian Kelly looked at his first bowl of gumbo, said, I don't know about that. Like, last guy was pretty big about gumbo. All right, I guess if I have to.
Which by talking about the last guy, I mean he's Ed O is
Edo is the poster child for football guy.
off the charts football guy, right?
And for so many reasons, but from the standpoint of like nobody expects this guy to be a head coach. Like this is the most like anti-head coach I've ever seen. There's so many qualities about him that say this guy shouldn't be the head of a program, but he still managed to do it.
Yeah. He burned bright, he burned short, but it was a
He
run.
was here for a good time, not a long time.
Yeah, if they're running shirtless, jogging shirtless anywhere doesn't give you a clue, then that's it.
Did you ever hear Joe Burrow say what Coach O calls the son?
No.
Ray Baker.
Ray Baker. I get it.
You know, there's a certain charm to college football that's lost without him in it.
For sure.
To some degree.
And I am one. I like the characters. I want
absolutely.
more characters, more guys. Anybody, even if you're annoying, come on, bring them in.
Be different.
Yes.
Like don't be a stick in the mud. Give me something to work with.
Yes.
Zach Arnett at Mississippi State.
Don't know much about him.
That's a good point.
Don't know much about him. Mysterious here. So I can't make a judgment on that. We'll give him. He's on the clock. We're going to be watching him.
I think we can all agree Mike Leach was definitely a football guy, though.
Yes, because Mike Leach is the guy. He created a whole offense to figure out how to win with undersized, underskilled personnel. And so he just goes in the room, draws up this ridiculous new offense, and tries to win games with it.
And also the fact that he could turn any conversation into like a 20-minute rant on gummy bears, the War of 1812. Like he could go anywhere with anything, it seems like, and somehow make it all make sense in the world of football.
For sure.
So RIP Coach Leach, an OG football guy.
Absolutely.
I just thinking about what he did, and even with Alyssa Lang, talking to her about, what, you really need to elope because it's going to save you money. And he just went on this diatribe about that, just he could expound upon anything.
Yes.
All right, we're halfway through the SEC. We'll hit the other half of it coming up next. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
We have over 900 entries in our Men's Clinic of South Carolina's Ultimate Gamecocks Season Ticket Contest. Thank you for the overwhelming response. On Monday, August 21st, we'll narrow that list of qualifiers down to 4. The final 4 contestants will be invited to come to our Summer Golf Classic on August 25th, where we will then draw the winner. The Ultimate Gamecocks Season Ticket Contest, sponsored by the Men's Clinic of South Carolina, on your home of the Gamecocks, 107.5 The Game.
Want to remind you, school's starting. It's time to contact Zerorez Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. Right now, you can have Zerorez come out to your house and take advantage of a great deal going on. You can get 3 rooms cleaned for only $129 when you mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game. Zerorez, using its patented electrolyzed ZR water technology that cleans and eliminates dirt without any chemical additives. This way, your carpets stay cleaner longer. Again, mention me, Bill Gunner at 107.5 The Game, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129. You can schedule online as well, ZerorezColumbia.com. With the kids going back, now's the opportunity to get the house looking nice and clean. Contact Zerorez, 803-262-4020, or again, schedule online, ZerorezColumbia.com. Zerorez, spell it backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean.
Be sure to catch the 2023 Gamecock Central preseason kickoff party Saturday, August 19th at Steel Hands Brewing. Park pep rally, park concert, and all party. We'll have food, drinks, music from Patrick Davis and his Midnight Choir, and everything Gamecock football in between. This party is free to attend, but a limited number of VIP tickets still remain. Go to steelhandsbrewing.com, click on the events tab, and scroll down to buy your tickets. Those will get you in early and with a number of perks. Benefiting the Beamer Family Foundation, we'll see you out there Saturday, August 19th at Steel Hands Brewing.
It's the Love Chevrolet Countdown to Gamecock Football.
16 days till kickoff.
Your trusted family-owned dealership since 1961. Get the vehicle you want, not the one you have to settle for. Love Chevy, South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer.
I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com.
Finding new roads.
Did you know that driving under the influence of marijuana is illegal? Driving high will get you a DUI. And if you're wondering if law enforcement can tell you're driving high, well, everyone else can. Friends,
I can tell you drove high.
parents,
I can tell when you drive high.
relatives.
I can tell. You drove here high, didn't you?
So what makes you think law enforcement can't?
I can tell.
If you feel different, you drive different. Drive high, get a DUI. Paid for by NHTSA.
To your left, our new exhibit, Monarchs of Springfield. And right here, we have our empty tour guide stand.
The last time Bryn hired someone is ancient history.
Sir, excuse me, that's not part of the exhibit.
They need
Sir,
tour guides who know the museum ropes.
Hey, kid, you like wearing khakis? I got a job for you.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Yes, we're stranded off the Main Street exit northbound. How fast can you be here?
I just want to check under the hood while we wait.
Hold on just a sec. Honey, it's dark out. I don't think it's a good idea to get out.
I'm sure it'll take them a while.
They're here?
Wow.
We're not that fast, but we're pretty close. When you're in a pickle because you drive a lemon, call Schroeder's Towing. Don't be left on the side of the road distressed. That's Schroeder's Towing with over 1,200 Google reviews. Call now at 772-7930.
Schroeder's Towing, the best and fastest bookers in town.
The 2023 Gamecock football season is almost here, and there's no better place to be on a fall Saturday than at Williams-Brice Stadium. Secure your tickets today to catch a game. Visit thegamecockclub.com for more information on season tickets, single game tickets, and our mobile passes. Options start as low as a $20 monthly subscription. Visit gamecockclub.com to learn more. Whatever the game, whoever you're with, just catch a game.
School is back in session, and Galliana Chrysler Jeep has a lesson for you. 0 plus 0 equals 1. That's right. 0 down plus 0 payments until 2024 equals 1 amazing new Jeep. So go back to school in a car that's cool. Galliana Chrysler Jeep makes the deals other dealers won't. New Jeeps up to $16,500 off. Every Jeep Compass 20% off. And every Jeep Gladiator at employee pricing. Plus, qualified buyers put 0 down and make 0 payments until 2024. And you still get the Jeep Wave, including 3 oil changes and 3 tire rotations. Bring us any competitor's price or payment. The only deal we can't beat is the one we don't know about. Gotta go to Galliana. Make this the summer event at Galliana Chrysler Jeep on Greystone. I-126 Zoo exit in Columbia. Call 779-7300 or GallianaSC.com. Must lease through Ally for maximum savings on Grand Cherokee 4XE. Stock number 27139. 90 days deferred payments. Dealer rebates up to $500 per month till January with approved credit. Offers don't combine. Expires month end.
Good morning, everyone. From the First Alert Traffic Center, I'm meteorologist Chandler Jordan. A-OK across the region if you happen to be starting your commute anytime soon. A little earlier this morning, northbound on I-77, especially throughout portions of Chester and York counties. There were a couple of accidents, but it seems like everything has been cleared up, which means that for your commute this morning, it should be pretty smooth sailing across the region. And just make sure you're continuing to practice the normal safe driving tips of plenty of following distance and following the speed limits. Hope you have a great day.
What you're talking about.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet. 107.5 The Game.
And welcome back in to the early game on 107.5 Game. Tyler Head in for Bill Gunter this morning. Preston Thorne alongside me. Jen Jensen on the other side of the glass as we continue our journey through the SEC, determining which coaches are football guys and which ones aren't. By the way, Alan weighs in on the Firehouse Subs text line 803-404-6100. By job title, aren't they all football guys? Technically speaking, yes, but the definition of football guy, no.
Nope. Football guys.
Just because you're a coach doesn't mean you're a football guy.
Correct. For instance, Steve Spurrier, I don't think Steve Spurrier is a football guy.
You don't think Steve's
He's
a
the
football
ball
guy.
coach. He's the greatest play caller ever, but he's a germaphobe, a well-noted germaphobe.
I did not know
You didn't know that?
No.
Well-noted germaphobe.
Okay.
Very much. He was definitely doing the fist bump
Fist
before.
bumps.
Yes. Well-noted germaphobe. Doesn't love practice.
Okay.
Would prefer not to watch any film.
Okay.
Steve Spurrier is not football guy. He's a great coach.
Yeah.
Not football guy.
Now, I think it's easy for somebody to assume he would be because of the eccentric personality, which for most coaches that do have that personality, we talk about Sam Pittman. We'll get to Lane Kiffin here in a moment. I think that automatically qualifies a lot of people. But yeah, if you don't like practice, if you don't like watching film, football guy is first to arrive, last to leave. He's watching film 25 hours a day, 8 days a week.
Put it like this, based on the criteria that Debo gave a little bit earlier about why he was named football guy.
Right.
We pulled it up. Let's see if we can get that again. And we get that. I don't remember which code.
I think it was cut number 15. Yes, cut 15.
Can we get that again?
Debo on what makes him a football guy.
What makes Debo?
We had it's 120 guys on the team. I want to say like 25 of us got this from making every practice, every workout. You didn't fail anything during the workout. So our time runs, you didn't fail anything. You got through all the weighted stuff we were doing, whether it's bench press or everything. You hit your max goals. And so I think like literally 20 of us got it, or 25 out of the whole team, So I wear this proudly, because I put in a lot of work to get it,
So yeah, it's definitely something you got to be there every single day for.
Yeah, I don't see Steve Spurrier being there for that. He's like,
about Lou Holtz. He a football guy?
Lou Holtz is a very interesting character. He's on the line. Lou Holtz.
No,
because he wore a sweater every day during practice.
He wore a sweater every day, and I remember seeing this old video of him. I guess when he was back in Notre Dame, they were talking about him going recruiting or something like that, and they showed the car he was driving, and it didn't have AC in it.
Yeah.
So he wears sweaters, no AC. Like he's not afraid of the heat.
Yeah.
That's some football guy behavior, right?
For sure.
I'm guessing he doesn't have power steering either. Like,
I don't think he was strong enough to actually steer a car without the power steering. But his famous statement was whenever somebody would ask him about that, he would say, you can't get water out of a rock.
Ooh.
So that was
That's a football guy.
That's
quote.
a football guy type statement.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So maybe.
Let's continue our trip around the SEC. Last one we did was Zach Arnett. So that means next is Eli Drinkwitz at Missouri.
This is you teeing me up. I can resort to old ways, but I'm not going to do it. Do it. Don't have enough evidence for Eli.
I think that's fair.
Don't have enough
on
evidence.
Looks alone. He does not look like a football guy.
Does not look like football guy.
Looks like a math professor, if we're being honest. So the look category is not quite there.
Mm-hmm.
And I know you have your truce with him at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
He often says things that don't paint him in the best light.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't strike me as the first to arrive, last to leave type of guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get football guy vibes from him.
I don't get them either. But again, as you saw in that very short clip, and I'm glad you pointed out, I don't know if that was something everybody else had noticed, but very shocked to see Eli wearing the long cargo camo shorts. It was just a surprising choice of fits. Because everybody else was wearing their Missouri gear. And
like the cargo camos were like, okay, when I was in high school, that was still a popular thing. I've not seen anybody wear those in a very long time. So,
and they were long.
They were long, like
below the knee.
Below the knee. And, who knows what was in those pockets.
Yeah. So that was a shocking choice. I would say not enough evidence, but if I had to lean, not a football guy.
The Lane train out in Ole Miss.
No.
No?
Not
you don't think he's a football guy?
Not football guy. No, I don't think Lane takes comfort in some of the things that the other football guys would take comfort in.
Okay, like
he
what?
enjoys football. He's very good at coaching football, but I just maybe some of like the down and dirty ish things. I think Lane would probably be like,
He's too clean cut.
Yeah. I don't think Lane likes to get a lot.
Football
I
guy.
don't think he likes to get a lot of dirt under his fingernails. He's probably not into that. Too
Okay,
much.
that's a fair assessment. Now
Mhm.
he does kind of similar to Spurrier fall in that eccentric personality kind of
Absolutely.
thing, which you assume that means football guy, but I can see where you're coming from there.
Mhm.
All right, next, Shane Beamer, South Carolina.
It's a tough one. Tough one. Shane is around. Shane has been around the game a long time. He knows a lot about football. He's worked in various places. He hasn't given me any evidence to see that he's gonna be football guy.
Okay.
Yeah, I need something like. Has he headbutted a guy like during his celebrations? Has he headbutted somebody without him having a helmet on?
Okay, or a classic Urk Russell.
Yes, something along those lines that I need to see. I did see him. This is what makes Shane football guy. I've gotten there. Running the stadium steps with your team.
Okay, there you go.
Oh.
You don't need to do that. That's only something that football guy wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
Steve Spurrier is not doing it.
Yeah,
He's
No.
going to do his workout, but he's not doing that.
Sure.
But if the coach wants to do the drills with the team because he's still in shape enough to do it, that probably qualifies.
I think that's fair.
Mhm.
Josh Heupel at Tennessee.
Can't see it.
Yeah, I'm not
see
feeling it.
I don't see he
Good football mind.
for sure.
Don't know if he's football guy though.
Don't know if he's football guy. We don't know that yet. Quarterbacks, it could go either way. I would lean on not.
Jimbo.
For better or for worse, Jimbo's football guy.
You think Jimbo's football guy?
For better or for worse.
I would lean towards no.
Think so?
Yeah, I don't know. Just something about him rubs me the wrong way.
Oh, well, now that's absolutely true. Yeah, I don't know what else. I love when they have those threads come out of X's, tweets, whatever we're calling them now, about what the coaches look like they would be doing if they weren't
Yes.
SEC coaches. Yeah, Jimbo, I could see that. He's not definitive. He's definitely minor league tier football guy, not top tier. Top tier is Saban and Kirby Smart, which coincidentally, that's why they're winning so much.
Sure.
Right underneath them, Stoops, and I think that's our tiers for right now.
Okay. Did you see the one? It was like SEC coaches if they all had long hair.
I did see that.
Coach Beamer looked like a surfer dude. Napier looked like somebody that was in like an alternative rock band.
Which is an affront to Napier because he has the best edge. He has the best lineup of anybody
He is
in the
he
game.
is lined up very well.
Oh
I
my
will
God. I mean,
give that you might get a couple of football guy points for that. I feel like
his lineup is immaculate.
It's
all
it's-
the time.
It's very fresh. I'll give him that.
Keeps a fresh lineup. So that's something. That's what I noticed about him before I knew anything about his coaching. I was
Yeah.
like, man,
Okay,
that dude
this guy's got a good barber.
That dude keeps a cut.
All right, last one. Clark Lee and Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
You think he's a football guy?
The clean shaven face. He shaves every single day.
That's true.
He's military football guy. Like he loves the discipline,
Okay.
the rigor, the toughness
That's
of
fair.
football.
Comes from Notre Dame, which
Mhm.
is, very not as strict as like the service academies, but they're a little, straightforward.
He
in
lives
what
his
they
life as if
expect.
he's in a service academy.
That's true. Yeah, that's a fair point.
That's what I would give that for him.
I don't know if I've seen enough of Clark Lee yet to give
Fair
a
also.
definitive on that, but he could definitely become one of my eyes at some
He
point.
doesn't give you vibes that he's doing push-ups somewhere
at
any random time.
I feel like he definitely could. I've not seen it. I don't know if he's running the steps with his players.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not. I don't. He's so new to the SEC. I want to give it a little bit more time before I make a definitive answer on if he's football guy or not.
I like it. And it's interesting as we're thinking about this. I'm thinking football guy is sort. You know how it's like how people have accents, and sometimes when they get around their family, or maybe they get to having a few drinks, the accent starts coming out of
Right.
you a little bit like that.
Yep.
I think that's how I am with football guy.
Okay.
Because I don't think in my regular everyday life that I purport to be football guy, But if you get me around football guys, I can quickly turn into football guy. You know,
I can see that.
it can happen.
To me, that's an infectious thing.
It can happen very, very quickly. If you get me around football guys and we're snorting and you know, I like it.
Shout out to Nameless Texter. He sent me an article from Beamer's time at Oklahoma. The headline of this article: Shane Beamer gets stitches after headbutting Jeremiah Hall's helmet.
Yes. I knew it. Was somewhere in the path. Thank you so much.
He's a
Nameless
locked-in
Texter.
football guy.
For sure.
Locked in.
Also, Rodney points out he had 10 gallons of mayo dumped on his head. I mean, that's pretty football guy, if we're being honest. And he was like, he was adamant before the game, like, you can dump this on me.
Yeah.
I want this.
Yeah,
I want to win this game.
I'll do anything for this win. I'll do anything for this win. Yeah. Speaking of anything, I know we're about to go to break. Speaking of anything, this is for your Google searches. If you don't know, Mike Vrabel, willing to do anything.
Football guy.
Google
quintessential football guy. Yeah, that's he takes it to another level. I'll say that much.
Some guys want it and some guys don't, Tyler.
How bad do you want it? Question.
Yeah.
All right. We'll come back. Tomorrow is a very important day in the sports calendar that brings joy to some and anger to others. I'll tell you what that is coming up. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Tickets to all Gamecocks football games, baseball games, men's and women's basketball games.
Well, now you can.
It's the ultimate Gamecock season ticket giveaway.
Sponsored by the Men's Clinic of South Carolina.
Not feeling like yourself? Call the Men's Clinic at 803-875-MENS. You can win tickets to every USC football game at Williams-Brice.
South Carolina punctuates a massive upset.
Every Gamecock baseball game at Founders Park.
The Gamecocks strike first, a 2-run shot from Ethan Petrie.
Every men's and women's hoops games at the CLA.
One undefeated team left in the nation. It's the South Carolina Gamecocks.
Just go to 1075thegame.com and register to win.
The ultimate season ticket giveaway.
Sponsored by the Men's Clinic of South Carolina from your home of the Gamecocks. 1075 The Game.
Sponsored by Unbound.org. Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice. Continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at Unbound.org.
Life Matters. A church in Sweden made international headlines this year by unveiling a 6-foot-tall statue of Jesus made out of 30,000 Lego blocks. It took 40 volunteers about 18 months to put all those tiny plastic pieces together. This Lego version of the Savior now stands behind the church altar, and children from across Sweden are absolutely fascinated by it and can't help touching the white plastic artwork. You know, I sometimes wonder if those kids know something we adults have forgotten. I think children instinctively know Jesus is worth touching and seeing, so they take the extra time to draw close and admire the Son of God. I believe that life really is better when we invest the time necessary to draw close to the Savior. Why not join us this Sunday at 9 or 11 at Christian Life Church on Bush River Road in Columbia and spend some time in His presence. Remember, friends, life matters, and so do you. Go to clcolumbia.com for in-person and live streaming service times.
Managing your online presence takes time, effort, and expertise. It can overwhelm even the savviest business owner. So, meet Cumulus Boost. We're experts at boosting the online presence for businesses of every type. We make sure potential customers can easily find you and really like what they find. Your website, online listings, consumer reviews, and more. Cumulus Boost. Online at cumulusboost.com. CUMULUS boost.com.
Hi, my husband and I own a small business in Columbia, and we ended up needing some help with some tax problems that we had and needed to get resolved. We initially owed about $300,000, and John Ecton and his law firm ended up getting us an offer in compromise, which dramatically reduced the amount owed. I would personally recommend the Ecton Law Firm. They did an excellent job for us. And if this is a concern that you're facing, they're definitely the people you should call.
It's great to know we have changed people's lives for the better. Hi, this is local attorney John Ecton with the Ecton Law Firm. For over a decade, our office has been dedicated to helping hardworking individuals and businesses solve tax problems for good. So if you have years of unfiled tax returns or are facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call our office today at 771-9800 or go to EctonLawFirm.com. That's ECTON lawfirm.com. Let's get your tax problem solved for good. Call today. You'll be glad you did.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring correctional officers, nurses, food services, facilities maintenance, mental health professionals, law enforcement officers, teachers, and more statewide. There are sign-on bonuses for officers, food services, nurses, and law enforcement officers. South Carolina Department of Corrections has great employee benefits like 6 weeks of PTO accrued yearly and police officer retirement. Start a rewarding new career today. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
Okay, so you're a guy. You don't feel as young as you used to. You're kind of dragging. No life drive, no sex drive. You have brain fog. You're not sleeping well. All sorts of stuff is going sideways. But you don't want to talk to anybody because we're guys. There's someone you can talk to. Dr. Dan Botnight at the Men's Clinic of South Carolina. Because honestly, what you could be going through could simply be low testosterone. One way to find out. A free consultation at the Men's Clinic of South Carolina, 803-875-MENS, or online, themensclinicsc.com.
Achieve an insanely clean home with Zero Risk Carpet Cleaning. Call now and mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game to get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129 or schedule online at ZeroRiskColumbia.com.
Sponsored by Molina Healthcare. Feel better with Molina Healthcare.
When it comes to your health, 2 experts are better than 1. That's why Molina Healthcare partners with Sandhills Medical Foundation, so you get the benefits you need to stay healthy and care from providers you trust. Choose Molina. Learn more today at meetmolinasouthcarolina.com.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Still working that earlier accident, Highway 1 at I-20. And I-20 westbound between Longs Pond Road and Highway 34. So that's exits 51 to 44. Seems to still be some stop and go traffic that might be slowing down your commute this morning. Your forecast, 92 for the high today, 94 tomorrow, 93 on Saturday. It's warming up just a little bit. It is 74 right now at 107.5 The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
Discover Herndon Certified, Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
The early game
With Bill Gunter, Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
Welcome back into the early game on 107.5 The Game. Tyler, Preston, Jen along with you on this Thursday morning. Mentioned for the break, tomorrow's an important day in the sports year that angers some and brings joy to others. Madden releases fully tomorrow. Madden 24.
Okay.
Again, some people love it. Some people love to hate it.
Now, that's what I'm saying. I don't know where this falls because I feel like people on Twitter just tend to complain.
Sure.
And all I've seen is hate for it, but I don't know what that means.
Yeah, and there's a lot of the general perception of Madden games. They just kind of update the roster every single year and don't change a whole lot. And the gameplay is kind of glitchy and buggy a little bit. I'll be honest, I hadn't bought a Madden game, and I think the last one I have is 17. So it's been a few years. I play the college game more. I still play NCAA 14 from a decade ago, and that occupies enough of my time. So I just haven't gotten around to buying a new Madden game. They look good, like the graphics and everything look great, but I don't think the gameplay has changed a whole lot, which that could get kind of stale. Franchise mode is not super deep. I don't know. It's just something I haven't gone out of my way to buy in several years.
It's still a very well-selling franchise, right? It's still the number one
it's like
selling
the top one. And, you know,
sure.
The funny thing to me is the people that are angriest about it every year are the same people that buy it.
Here we go
every
again.
single year.
Doing it again.
hand over their $60. I assume it's still $60 to EA Sports, so they can complain about it. But that's their thing.
Yeah, my Madden days stopped when people just got too good at it.
Oh yeah, no,
I wasn't. I was never very good at it. So
I liked the mid 2000s Madden 04, 06, 07, those kind of games. Like that was my bread and butter. And I still have those somewhere. I need to break them out and play them again.
Do they have modes where you can go back and play old Maddens on the new Maddens or something? along those lines?
You can play like historic teams, but you can't play
I need the graphics to look the same.
If you want to play like Madden 07, you got to have like a PS2, which I was actually talking to my dad about this the other day. I want to find mine so I can play some of these old games because I've been dying to play like 04 with Vic again, and I got to have my PlayStation 2 to do that.
Cheat code.
Hopefully I can find that in the attic somewhere. But 2 hours down, 1 more hour to go. We'll hit some more player audio from yesterday. You're listening to the early game, 107.5 The Game.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
This is Gamecock Athletics Director Ray Tanner, and you're listening to 107.5 The Game,
a Cumulus media station.
Holly wants you to hit a hole-in-one for Oliver Gospel Mission. You're invited to the 15th Annual Charity Classic. Your hole sign, a team of 4, will give meals and care for hungry neighbors in our community. That's why we need your church, business, or group of friends to help us golf for good this October 2nd. Go to olivergospel.org to see how you can volunteer and sponsor today.
Hey guys, it's Jay Phillips for the Hood team at Coldwell Banker. You know, the Columbia real estate market continues to evolve. In fact, our market is now one of the fastest growing in all of the United States. Danny Hood, Karen Hood, their son, William DiMaggio, have more than 37 years of experience in Columbia real estate, and they're ready to help you, whether it's buying or selling your home. 803-730-2512, thehoodteam.com. Put those years of experience to work for you with the Hood team.
Be sure to catch the 2023 Gamecock Central preseason kickoff party Saturday, August 19th at Steel Hands Brewing. Park pep rally, park concert, and all party. We'll have food, drinks, music from Patrick Davis and his Midnight Choir, and everything Gamecock football in between. This party is free to attend, but a limited number of VIP tickets still remain. Go to steelhandsbrewing.com, click on the events tab, and scroll down to buy your tickets. Those will get you in early and with a number of perks. Benefiting the Beamer Family Foundation, we'll see you out there Saturday, August 19th at Steel Hands Brewing.
Let your kid learn from the best. Hi, I'm Marquette Carr from the Carolina Basketball Association, inviting you to our Fall Skills Camp Saturday, August 26th at Cardinal Newman High School. Elite instructors, including Gamecock standout Jacoby Wright and Zach Davis, plus Tiger standout Josh Beadle. Prepare your child for the season and help improve their skills. Space is limited, so don't wait. Register your athlete aged 10 to 16 years old for the Fall Skills Camp at cba4youth.com. That's CBA, the number 4youth.com.
Fresh produce is the best produce. That's why at Kroger, we invest in local farmers to bring you the freshest seasonal picks. So no matter how you shop, your local produce always tastes 100% fresh, or you get a 100% refund, guaranteed. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Get summer Freshtival savings on fresh Heritage Farm chicken split breast. On sale now for just $1.29 a pound with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Just how does a car repair shop last in business for over 50 years like Sudeth Automotive? By providing affordable, reliable, and honest auto repair. But if you ask them, they'll tell you it's their loyal customers who come back time and time again to entrust them with their car repairs. Well-trained technicians, service packages, and monthly specials. Isn't it time you became a customer? Give them a call or come by at 1410 North Millwood Avenue or make an appointment at SudethAuto.com. You haven't tasted real Carolina barbecue until you've experienced Little Pigs Barbecue. Full-service dine-in buffet with barbecue ribs, brisket, chicken, rice, hash, tomato pie, macaroni and cheese, and many more of your favorites. Eat in or take out. Little Pigs Barbecue on Alpine Road is open from 11 to 2 on Wednesday, 11 to 8 Thursday through Saturday, and 11 to 3 on Sunday. Little Pigs Barbecue on Alpine Road. Little Pigs family looks forward to seeing you soon.
Eyes on the road, hands on the wheel, safely drive that automobile. Eyes on the road, hands on the wheel.
what you're talking about.
On 107.5 The Game.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet. There are lots of places to buy your next ride, but there is no place like Love Chevy, where you never pay more than MSRP, ever. Come by and feel the difference of love. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Find new roads. The early game.
With Bill Gunter, former Gamecock Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
I listened to the radio on the way in here, and I've just listened to him rant and rave about everything. I'm like, get in, we're going to have some serious talk today. And your first question for me is, did they have Pop-Tarts in England? I get up at 5 o'clock to come here. I mean, what are you doing to me?
On your home of the Gamecocks.
The theme of this show. I don't know. Oh, what happened?
107.5 The Game.
Welcome back into the early game on 107.5 The Game. Tyler Head in for Bill Gunter once again this morning. Bill be out tomorrow as well. I believe he said he had a wedding to go through to this weekend, but he'll be back on Monday, and then it's full
Not
steam
his own.
ahead.
Just making that clear. Not his own.
Not his own. Yeah, not his own. Said somebody else's. But yeah, he'll be back in on Monday, full steam ahead to football season and through the end of the year, as I believe these are his final 2 off days to use. Which, by the way, if you have off days, use them. Don't let them lapse. If they don't roll over, make sure you get them done.
Yes, if you missed the PSA during the 6 o'clock hour, or you all in the 8 o'clock hour, you have off days, you have vacation days, please use them.
And he did not. And to be completely fair, and like I said in the 6 o'clock hour, I'm not going to defend him. You can be rest assured I will not. But he did not take all his vacation days last year, so he's like, okay, I'm going to get them all in this year.
Don't get stuck with him.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I remember he took like a week or so off around Christmas because I just started here and I was originally on this show, and it's like, well, he's going to be gone for like a week. So I'm like, all right, that's cool. It gave me days off, so that was fine. But yeah, so Bill will be back in on Monday and then full steam ahead to the rest of football season. Today is the last day as far as camp goes for media availability. And we were talking about this yesterday, Colin and I were, once you get into next week and you're in that final 2-week push for the season starts, that's when you're really starting to key in on the opponent you're playing. That's where things shift from just general camp stuff to, okay, North Carolina's coming. Now we're getting ready.
They're probably starting to have some of those conversations now. I imagine they have a scrimmage coming up here this weekend.
They do have another scrimmage this weekend, yes.
Yeah, so after this scrimmage, they'll probably start breaking down. They will get preliminary depth charts. They'll start figuring out who's going to be on the scout team, as in who's going to be representing North Carolina. They'll start practicing game plan specific plays that they think that they'll be carrying into the week. So after this week, they'll probably start breaking that down a little bit.
Well, somebody that we're expecting to be back on the field this fall is Mo Kaba, returning from his injury that he suffered against Arkansas last year. Here is Mo talking about the conditioning he's put in this offseason.
Right now, I feel like I'm in my own category of conditioning because nobody has been out this much. Stretch came back a little earlier than me and got more conditioning in the summertime. So I'm just out there with Day doing long running work to get my endurance up, like striding across the field, gashers and stuff like that, ball throws, and just get my endurance to go long ways instead of short ways, if you get what I'm saying.
And for somebody like him recovering from this injury, look, he's not forgotten how to play football, but there is a task at hand to get yourself back into that condition and playing shape to be able to play at the same level you were at before your injury.
Yeah, you want to get in shape so that you get that out of the way, so that's something that I'm not necessarily worried about. We talked about it earlier with TJ Sanders, the game slowing down for you. Well, here's another time when the game's not slow for you. When you're out of shape and you're trying to figure out where's my next breath coming from, you're not going to be able to focus on what the play call is, diagnosing plays, and being a middle linebacker. So you have to get your conditioning down first so that you can worry about everything else.
Well, especially at the linebacker spot, because good linebackers should be able to move sideline to sideline. So you are moving probably more than anybody else on the defense to some degree.
You're going 4 different directions. You're going back, you're going forward, you're going side to side, and also front, back, side to side for any UGK fans out there. But also, you have to do all the talking You're telling people where to go. You're telling people to line up here. You're making adjustments. You're doing all the yelling. You're responsible for the play calls. And if you are out of breath, that's just another thing you don't want to do because you can't hardly talk. So getting your condition is key for everybody, but linebackers especially.
Play another cut here. Kaba did participate in the scrimmage this past weekend. And he talked about his comfort level during that scrimmage.
Oh yeah, coming back from the injury, no matter how confident you are, like making that first real hit is a mind thing. Really, I even caught myself before the scrimmages, like being hesitant to plant off of that foot. But once I just told myself that I'm good, I just started going through it and feeling better. I got like 24 snaps the last scrimmage, knocked the dust off a little bit, and I'm ready for the next scrimmage to see how I feel after that.
Every position in football is so unique when you talk about coming back from an injury. And I think about any time like a running back has a knee issue, right? And that first time they say they come back and they get ready to cut off of that knee, there's a hesitation of like, going to do what I need to do. It's going to be hold up. Am I going to be as swift and efficient as I was before? We talk about guys on the defensive side of the ball. That first hit, kind of getting yourself back in there, getting that feel for it again, and, making sure you can still do what you were able to do before.
100%. I tore my ACL, MCL, meniscus, all that in my knee. And the year that I came back, the hardest thing was getting used to people being around your knee again, around your leg. And it's just,
I could see that.
You're just a little bit hesitant because when you're playing football, bodies are flying everywhere and there's just general chaos. And so you're just like a little bit hesitant of what's going to happen. And once you can get rid of that, or somebody hits it and nothing happens, you can get over that. But that first initial, very hesitant for people to just be flying around your legs.
And I could see that. I was in a kind of a nasty car accident when I was driving a car for Butler University. And the guy came, like to the front right quarter panel of my car. And for a long time, it was that hesitation of somebody's coming to my right, and that. So I can totally see from a sports perspective. Yeah.
100%. I guess it's a sort of, it's like a traumatic, it's a traumatic experience.
Yeah.
And I imagine your brain just sort of registers as of like, I don't want that to happen again. You get over it for sure, but it's something that's there.
And what was that first true hit like? Coming back when you finally got to get in there and square off with some guys?
It's kind of it's sort of liberating in a little while because you've been worried about it, worried what's going to happen, and then it happens and you see that you're okay. You can sort of almost even breathe after that. Like now I can go back into actually playing the game, because before that you're so hesitant to really let go. But another instance would be wide receivers if they do a hamstring or something.
Yep.
Can I really run full speed? Is it going to tighten up on me? Can I really open this thing up and get to my top speed? And you're always a little bit hesitant about that. So there's some of those mind games that are going on out there for sure.
Does playing in a scrimmage give you enough of a feeling of a real game to kind of get you back into that mood, into that rhythm? Or do you need the actual live game reps to feel kind of back to normal in your role again?
If you're full go, if it's full contact scrimmage and we're taking to the ground with full contact, that's enough, because it doesn't matter who the other team's jersey is. It's just random bodies and legs falling at my knee, So, yeah, I think a scrimmage is enough.
What's the difference as we get set for the second scrimmage of camp this weekend? What's the difference just overall, not specifically talking about the injuries, between that first and that second scrimmage, and what is learned doing it the second time, if anything?
The second scrimmage is where we're going to start to eliminate extra reps. So in the first scrimmage, everybody gets reps. The second scrimmage, we'll start to figure out who's really first team, who's second team, third team. They'll start going against each other. You'll probably do a lot more of what coaches always refer to as good on good, which will be your first teams versus your first teams. There'll be a lot more of that during the second scrimmage.
A couple more guys we got to hear from yesterday included Nick Eamon-Wary and Jatius Gear, JT Gear, I guess that's what we're calling him now. I want to play this cut here from Nick Eamon-Wary, the conversation about who the fastest guy on the team is now is between him and Nick Harbor. And play cut number 8 here if you can, Jen. Here he is talking about him and Harbor going one-on-one in practice.
Just like one-on-one reps and coverage. Anytime I can go up against him, I'll probably take that chance. Just two freaks going at it, He's a freak of nature. I'm a freak of nature. He's big, strong, fast, can run. So am I. So, good work against him. He's going to be a great player.
So we've known Nick Emmanwori to be the fastest guy on the team for a little bit now. That's been proven in races against some of the other guys. Now you bring in a literal Olympic level track athlete. Now they've not been able to race each other heads up yet. I imagine that's something that would probably have to wait until after the season. But Nick Emmanwori definitely feels like his turf's being impeded on with Harbor coming into town.
Nick does not lack for confidence.
Not at all.
Absolutely. He's a free too, just like me.
Just like me.
just like me. So he's big, fast, strong, and we're both gonna be here, and we'll see that. He said, good luck, kid. He also sort of threw that in and like he's got a bright future ahead of him.
Did you see that Bruce Feldman named Nick Harbor as his number one freak of college football this year?
Which I guess Nick Emmanwori was like, hold on a second.
Hey, now I didn't even make the list. What's going on?
He's not faster than me, which is interesting because those are pound for pound two of the biggest dudes on both sides of the ball.
Yes.
And you wouldn't expect them to be as fast. I'm sure this is when you get into this conversation. I'm sure Juice Wells has something to say about this.
Sure.
I'm sure Amarian Brown has something to say about this when they're talking about who's the fastest. So they let Nick say that, but I'm sure if they heard that, they'd be like, come on, bro.
If we can get a proper competition within the team to truly determine who the fastest person is, we might be surprised, honestly.
For sure. But that's the thing. It never happens because there's somebody who everybody thinks is the fastest. They're not going to race.
Sure.
And there's somebody who's probably a little bit faster. They're itching to race all the time. And it's like, man, get out of here. We just finished practice, or we have to practice.
Yeah.
Or there's always an excuse.
And you talked about wide receivers returning from hamstring injuries. The last thing the coach wants these guys to do is pull a hamstring just trying to prove who the fastest guy on the team is.
Imagine that injury report coming across your desk as a coach. How did he get hurt, coach? Oh, yeah, they were racing. Racing what? Racing each other?
Just racing each other.
Just racing each other after practice? No, you definitely do not want to hear that.
So if anything, we might have to wait until after the season to see who the true fastest Gamecock ends up being.
But my favorite part was he's big, strong, and fast, just like me. I love it.
He's a freak of nature, just like me.
Like me. Us.
Emmanwori does not lack for confidence.
He
I'll
doesn't,
say that
and
much.
He shouldn't. He has a chance to be really extremely good. He's talented. He is big. He is fast. He is strong. He plays the safety well. A lot of people would argue that he was our best linebacker last year playing free safety. Playing strong safety. He's not telling the truth. He's not telling a lie. He's telling the truth. Listen, if it's true, it's not bragging. So I have no problem with it.
Right. Up next, want to take a little bit of a jump into the NFL. Anthony Richardson's been named the starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. And he said something the other day that if I'm a Colts fan, wouldn't really sit right with me. I'll tell you what that is coming up. You're listening to the early game on 107.5 The Game.
Friday, August 25th. Join 107.5 The Game for our football kickoff golf tournament. Our summer golf classic at Charwood Golf Club in West Columbia. 9:30 shotgun start. $100 a person, $400 for a team. Call Charwood at 803-755-2000. Lunch provided by Firehouse Subs. We'll be raffling off football tickets, Carowinds passes, and more. Our football kickoff tournament. The Summer Golf Classic. Friday, August 25th. From your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute. 70 years ago today, David Mullaney was watching his kids play outside his Fairfield, Connecticut home when the inspiration struck to create the perfect ball for suburban backyards. Mullaney began experimenting with round plastic spheres used by a local perfume packaging company. Punching holes in one side produced special aerodynamic properties and the birth of the wiffle ball. I'm Boomer Esiason.
CBS Sports Radio.
Lowe's knows how to save pros time and money. Right now, take up to 40% off select bathroom vanities. Plus, get free local truck delivery. And there's more. Get a Kohler White Elongated Water Sense toilet. Now just $199. Was $249. That's a savings of $50. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Vanities offer valid 8/10 through 8/23. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. Kohler offer valid 7/7 through 10/26.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. So you ordered a new air filter for your car. You try to install it, but it doesn't fit. So you take a little bit off the sides. What, still doesn't fit? Well, you could try to sit on it. Or get it right the first time with eBay Guaranteed Fit. When you see the check, you know that part's going to fit. Air filters, brakes, headlights, over 122 million parts. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors, let's ride. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Sponsored by Staples Stores. Staples has great prices on everything you need for back to school. Right now, 2-pocket poly folders and an 8-pack of Staples No. 2 pencils are just 50 cents. Offer ends 8/26. Pricing and limits may vary in store and online. School on, save on at Staples.
Have you ever had an important message get caught in the digital dumpster in the form of spam folders, spam filters, and outright accidental deletion? Did your message get lost in the hundreds of emails in the inbox? The best way to get through the digital dumpster is to put a printed paper in a person's palm. They will see your message and remember your message because you stood out from the digital noise in our daily lives. This is Kevin Hunter. My family and I are proud to lead the team of professionals at SOS. We are a local company that provides sales, support, and service throughout the state of South Carolina. Our company offers a wide variety of copier and printer products from HP, Toshiba, Riso, and Epson to meet every need, application, and budget. We can even wrap your new device in a Carolina logo. Before you commit to a new copier in your office, contact SOS to see what a difference our products, programs, and people can make for you. Call 888-914-7476 or visit mysimplifiedoffice.com today.
Snakes, rodents, and mold all live and grow beneath your home and eventually will find their way inside. Canty Foundation Specialist is your local trusted expert in crawl space sealing. Call us today for a free estimate.
Canty can fix it.
Moisture and high humidity in your crawl space create an environment for mold and mildew and affect the air you breathe inside your home. Call Canty for a free inspection today at 753-1495 or visit cantycanfixit.com.
The new buzz this year is all about tax credits and cost reductions for AAA heating and air. Find out for yourself. Give them a phone call today and speak to their comfort advisors, 803-677-1500. You can get a tax credit of up to $3,800 plus a $1,500 rebate to buy back your old unit. Call AAA Heating and Air today to find out more, 803-677-1500.
AAA Air when you need us. AAA Heating and Air.
Can you imagine a world without junk?
A world where there's room to breathe and stretch out and play.
A world with enough room to laugh and live and love.
You have the power to make that world happen.
And that power is in your forefinger.
We make junk disappear.
All you have to do is point.
Invite us to your house.
We'll only be there a few minutes.
Any home or apartment.
Workplace or job site.
We're industrial strength magicians.
All you have to do is point.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK
or visit 1-800-GOTJUNK.com.
Achieve an insanely clean home with Zero Risk Carpet Cleaning. Call now and mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game to get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129 or schedule online at ZeroRiskColumbia.com.
107.5 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
And taking a look at those traffic conditions out there this morning, I-26 westbound at I-126. The left lane is currently blocked due to an accident. Still slow going, stop and go I-20 westbound between exits 51 and 44. And trying to get things cleaned up, Highway 1 at I-20. 92 for the high today, 94 tomorrow. It's kind of cloudy right now, but it's 75 at 107.5 The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
A great selection of new Chevys is available now at Herndon Chevrolet. The lot is packed with inventory and more is on the way. So shop your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile. The Early Game with Bill Gunter.
Former Gamecock Preston Thorne.
And Jen Jensen on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
I've been grinding, putting in work just to get the title. But it's not really all about the title. I'm just trying to make sure I'm ready for the team. Despite being labeled as QB1, I still got other guys in the room helping me get to that standard. So I'm forever thankful for them. I appreciate them, and I'm glad I did get the nod. And I do have the trust in everybody in the building too.
Welcome back into the early game here on 107.5 The Game. Tyler Preston, Jen, along with you. That was the voice of Anthony Richardson the other day talking about getting the nod as QB1 for the Colts as he was named the starter earlier on this week. He said he was shocked, though. And if I'm a Colts fan, that doesn't instill a lot of confidence in me and my quarterback that he's shocked that he was named the starter, because if he was named the starter, I would want him to say, yeah, I've worked hard. I've done so-and-so. I feel like I should get the start. Like, saying you're shocked, I don't know. It just doesn't sit right with me.
Let's shoot him some bail here. Let's see. He maybe he was shocked that it happened so quickly.
Maybe, but he did not specify.
He did not specify that, right? So he's like, me? You serious?
Yeah, like I don't know how I feel about that.
Did you not see that interception I threw straight to somebody the other day during the preseason game? Or maybe he's just being fake humble. I don't know.
Maybe
he's just being fake humble. But the idea of him being shocked, I don't know about that.
And he's such an interesting conundrum, because to be as highly drafted as he was, it's like, well, yeah, of course you're going to want to start the guy that you drafted number 4 overall sooner rather than later. But we kind of knew coming in, he's a project quarterback. And it's like, is he ready for the NFL in year number 1? We don't know that yet. We saw him only briefly in that preseason game the other day. As you mentioned, he did throw the interception.
It was a bad interception.
It was a bad interception. I believe he was trying to avoid an intentional grounding and just threw it into a bad situation. But it's like, there seems to be a lot this guy has to learn about playing the quarterback position. And again, he only played 1 year in college as a full-fledged starter. And even there, we could see a lot of cracks. Like, from a raw talent perspective, he's got the size, he's got the athleticism that you want. He can be that Cam Newton type of quarterback, but it's going to take him some time to get there. And I just don't know how ugly this season is going to be with Richardson as the quarterback, trying to figure it out on the fly.
He has all of the tools, the raw tools, to be somebody who can be very good in the NFL for a long time. Physical tools.
Sure.
We don't know about what he does mentally in the game, because he said last year he only played for 1 year. They were not a great team, difficult offense, all of that. Obviously, they see something in him with the Colts that's going to make him the starter. The interesting thing to me about starting somebody so early on a bad team is, do you get ruined by having bad habits? They're not, especially if Jonathan Taylor doesn't come back.
Yes.
They're not going to be good.
Yeah.
And so now you're placing the emphasis of not being good, top of not having a running game to support you. And now all of a sudden you're putting a rookie quarterback in that situation. You just hope that doesn't make for bad habits moving forward.
Not to mention the fact Shane Steichen is also a first-year head coach.
A first-year head coach with a first-year quarterback with no running game, no stability around you to buoy you up. That does not seem like a recipe for success. Even if all of them are good, right now they will not be.
The question is, how long of a leash do they give Anthony Richardson? How much time are they willing to give him to figure it out?
That's why I'm usually hesitant on just naming, especially if I'm not necessarily sure. Maybe you don't name him QB1 to start with, because if comes a point where you're going to have to yank him, does that mess with his confidence?
Yeah.
So if we wait to maybe game 3 or 4, and now he comes in as the savior for a bad season,
sure,
that feels better as a fan, as opposed to after game 2, you like, that's not going to work.
Now, I look at a team like the Colts, and when you look at the other quarterbacks in that room, you have Gardner Minshew, you have Sam Ehlinger. Gardner Minshew has been around for a couple of years and did start in Jacksonville for a little while, played a little bit in Philadelphia last year when Jalen Hurts was on the shelf. But, I wouldn't put him in the same category of veteran as some of these other quarterbacks. Now, I really like what, from Frank Wright did here at Carolina,
There you go.
where they're going to draft Bryce Young. They also brought in Andy Dalton. So if need be, they could have started Andy Dalton for 3-4 weeks and brought in Bryce Young when they're ready to do so. Now they have essentially named him the starter without naming him the starter, I believe, but I'm assuming he's going to be out there in week number 1 against the Falcons, but you still have that true veteran presence that's there if you need it. If anything else for advice and whatever, don't quite have that in the Colts, where it's like, okay, we're going to start Gardner Minshew for 5 or 6 games. Like, I don't know how much better that is.
Also a veteran who has come to peace with their place in the NFL.
Oh yeah, he's had his success.
I'm
He's
good.
He's been around forever. What, 15 years or something like that at this point now. Like he's been around for a while.
So he's there 100% to support Bryce Young.
Yes.
Those guys in that locker room, they are still fighting for position, and they might all get along well. I'm not saying there's any bad blood, but Gardner Minshew, in the deep part of him, still feels like he should be QB1 over this rookie coming in, I assume. I think I saw Teddy Bridgewater's in Detroit.
He is.
That's the guy that's who I would want in that similar situation.
Yeah, and I think Bridgewater's kind of accepted his fate as well.
Exactly.
Like, look, I'm not going to be your franchise quarterback. I'm not somebody
100%.
you're going to build a team around. I'm somebody that's going to help you bridge the gap when you need it. No pun intended, Bridgewater, but help you bridge the gap when you need it. And look, he had all the potential in the world, had that gruesome knee injury that it's amazing that he came back from it to begin with. There was talk at that point that he might have lost his leg because of all the stuff that got messed up in there. So the fact that he's still able to play football is nothing short of amazing. And yes, he understands what his role is in the NFL going forward.
Yeah, you need a locker room guy, a vet that's going to even the room out, somebody who's not fighting or angling for the position. He's going to actually help the rookie when the rookie makes mistakes, as they will. You need somebody around like that. And then from the same position for Shane Steichen, who's the veteran presence for him as a coach to be around and steady him when he's going to be trying to figure out this process. So it looks like Indianapolis might be in for a long ride. I hope, because who knows, in 3 or 4 years, we might be saying, man, those were the toughest times and we grew through it together, but it's going to be rough this year.
It's amazing to look back just a couple years ago when you had Andrew Luck. And it's like, man, we're set for the next 10 years. And this guy's a generational talent and we're going to be good. And then I don't blame him for retiring because he was beat up. They couldn't give him an offensive line to protect him. And his body was just past the point of where he wanted to continue to come back only to get hurt again. So I don't blame him for retiring, but it just set in motion this vicious cycle of where they had like 8 different quarterbacks in the 4 or 5 years since, and now they're trying to establish some kind of foundation going forward. But again, now you have this unproven project quarterback that you're now throwing to the wolves. We'll see how it goes.
With right now, no running game to support him.
Yes, and this Jonathan Taylor thing, as it's actually up on the screen right now, is not looking pretty right now.
Yeah, it might work out at the end. He'll come in, I guess, I'm eventually, because he'll want to get paid and he'll want to play. But it's not a great situation.
And it's one thing, if the owner was not poking the bear, so to speak.
Yes.
Because it's like, yes, we all understand running backs are asking for more than what they're probably worth to the game right now, but you didn't need to go out there and say something about it. Like, that's just a bad look overall when you're in the midst of these negotiations with your star running back.
Right, because at the end of the day, even though you might be paying them, you still want the person that's on your team to be somewhat comfortable with the position that they're playing.
Sure.
And I don't know if they've gone too far. I don't know if they'll be able to mend that relationship, but you would prefer to have your people at least satisfied and happy that are working with you.
Right. I want to continue this conversation in regards to Anthony Richardson and quarterbacks on the other side. Is sitting a rookie the right thing to do? What is the benefit of doing that? And is it something that all teams should look to do if possible? We'll hit that coming up. You're listening to the early game, 107.5 The Game.
We have over 900 entries in our Men's Clinic of South Carolina's Ultimate Gamecocks Season Ticket Contest. Thank you for the overwhelming response. On Monday, August 21st, we'll narrow that list of qualifiers down to 4. The final 4 contestants will be invited to come to our Summer Golf Classic on August 25th, where we will then draw
wants you to hit a hole-in-one for Oliver Gospel Mission. You're invited to the 15th Annual Charity Classic. Your hole sign, a team of 4, will give meals and care for hungry neighbors in our community. That's why we need your church, business, or group of friends to help us golf for good this October 2nd. Go to olivergospel.org to see how you can volunteer and sponsor today.
The power of Christ, the power of Christ.
The 2023 Gamecock football season is almost here, and there's no better place to be on a fall Saturday than at Williams-Brice Stadium. Secure your tickets today to catch a game. Visit thegamecockclub.com for more information on season tickets, single game tickets, and our mobile passes. Options start as low as a $20 monthly subscription. Visit gamecockclub.com to learn more. Whatever the game, whoever you're with, just catch a game.
Hi, everybody. This is Woody Wyndham here to talk about Pioneer Tree Service. Guy Gant's not with us anymore, but his girls are. Madison Gant just walked in. How you doing?
Doing great, Woody. How are you?
Good. Madison, I see your trucks everywhere for Pioneer Tree Service. Tell us some of the people you work with.
We've been very busy with residential and commercial customers.
So, Madison, you're doing the State House, Midlands Tech, City of Columbia, University of South Carolina. So you're going to want to call somebody you can trust, and that is the Gant girls at Pioneer Tree Service. And now there's a new little Gant girl, Dawson. We got all the Gant girls in the room.
We do tree removal, stump removal, tree pruning, tree trimming, tree thinning, tree cabling, and we will raise your tree canopy.
And no matter where you live, the Gant girls can get there. So, hey, Gant girls, how do they get in touch with you?
Call us today for a free estimate at 803-794-8253 or check us out online at pioneertreesc.com.
Every day, you breathe in thousands of microscopic germs, allergens, and viruses. Don't let these invisible invaders make breathing through your nose impossible. Flush them out with Navage. Navage uses powered suction to pull saline in one nostril around the back of the nose and out the other nostril, helping flush out all the nasty things that make you miserable. Nearly 4 million people use Navage to breathe better, snore less, and feel healthier. People like Cindy, a verified Navage user who writes, "I've had such awful nasal congestion for the last couple of years. I bought Navage and OMG, I can breathe again. I love this thing. Goodbye, Neti Pot. Hello, Navage." End quote. If you suffer from sinus congestion, allergies, or snoring, then Navage is the safe, drug-free solution you've been looking for. Navage is at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, and Navage.com. Navage. N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with things I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of the disease called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, straight lines seem wavy, like when looking at a door frame. For others, blurry or missing spots can make it hard to read or see loved ones' faces. Many have trouble seeing in low light, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you've been diagnosed with AMD and notice vision changes, don't wait. Talk to your eye doctor about GA today. Learn more at GAWon'tWait.com. That's GAWon'tWait.com.
1075 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Well, good news. The earlier tie-up I-26 westbound near 126, that has been cleared, so that should be moving along better. We do sadly have an accident, Broad River Road near I-26, that you might have to contend with. And still could be some stop-and-go traffic, exits 51 through 44 on Highway I-20 westbound. So on I-20 westbound between Longs Pond Road and exit 44, still some slowdowns there. 92 for the high today, 94 tomorrow. It's up to 76 right now. 107.5 The Game.
What you're talking about.
Sponsored by Love Chevrolet. 1075 The Game.
Welcome back into the early game. 107.5 The Game. Tyler, Preston, and Jen along with you. Reminder, tomorrow from 9 until 3, we'll be broadcasting live at Steel Hands Brewing out in Casey, getting you set for the Gamecock Central preseason kickoff party coming up this Saturday. It's going to be an all-day event. It is free to attend after 4 o'clock, but if you want VIP access, you can get in at 1 o'clock. All the VIP information is on GamecockCentral.com. There's going to be Q&A with Gamecock alumni, players, and coaches as well. Also live music starting at 4 o'clock. You can hear from Patrick Davis and his Midnight Choir as they take the stage at 8:30 that night. Again, head on over to GamecockCentral.com for all the details for the Gamecock Central preseason kickoff party. I want to continue our conversation we were having about Anthony Richardson getting the nod with Indianapolis. And again, a guy like him being a project quarterback, somebody that was expected to take some time to really develop into what they wanted him to be as an NFL QB. Unfortunately, as we talked about, he does not have that true veteran quarterback to sit behind and learn. So it is very much going to be baptism by fire. And I know it's easy to point to the Aaron Rodgers and stuff like that, Patrick Mahomes, sat by Alex Smith. And I was listening to CBS Sports Radio the other day, and the host brought up a good point, and I forget his name, but, those guys that ended up being really good were probably going to be good anyway. How much did sitting behind the veterans truly help them become the quarterbacks they became today?
Obviously, those are two Hall of Famers. So that question is, they're almost outliers. You can't use them as the case study because there are very few quarterbacks like those two.
Sure.
I think you can maybe make more of an argument of guys who played too early and were ruined. Obviously, there's not David Carr.
Derek Carr.
Derek Carr.
Yes.
That's the obvious example everybody talks about. How he just basically just got beat up for 4 years with the Texans and never was really able to get his career off the ground. I think the Jets were in danger of doing that to Zach Wilson last year, playing him too early. We don't even know if he's going to be any good, but he was on the verge of being sort of ruined. So I think there's more of a danger of maybe playing him too early as opposed to that.
So I believe Casey actually wants to weigh in on this on the Love Chevrolet phone lines. Casey, thanks for giving us a call. What's on your mind?
Good morning, Tyler and Preston. Love listening to y'all. Love calling in. But I think Preston answered the question, honestly, in the last segment. We've seen even with great quarterbacks, they remind us this is a team game. So as a head coach, if you understand that you have a good offense and you're just missing a quarterback, then sure. Because if a quarterback's going to be great, then he's going to be great behind a good offense. Small stuff can be learned throughout the year. But if you take a would-be great quarterback and put it behind a bad offense, if he doesn't have a good run game or a good O line, then every great quarterback is going to struggle to the point of early retirement or getting beat up too much. So it depends on if you have a good offense or bad offense, whether or not you should plug in a quarterback. That's just my 2 cents on it.
Appreciate you
absolutely.
listening.
Fair
and,
point there.
Great point. And I think that's the situation. And that's why I'm looking at the Colts like, I don't know, do you want to protect this investment till you can sort of build around? But here's what the problem is with the NFL. You got to throw them out there early because they're on that rookie contract.
Yeah, then you're paying them a good bit, especially drafting them that high.
Yeah, you're paying them, but you have them on a rookie contract where you don't have to pay them the exorbitant amount.
Right.
And so you don't want to waste any years.
Yeah, you have that time frame to figure out if they're truly the future of your franchise.
You have 4 years to figure out, and that's why Green Bay is in an unenviable position right now because they had to re-sign Jordan Love past his rookie deal. He sat for all those years behind Aaron Rodgers, and he might be good, but I don't know. But they were forced to extend his contract without knowing. At least I guess the more recent strategy in the NFL is to throw him out there early.
Yeah.
And if we got something, fine. If not, we can make a move on. You've seen the conversations coming up with Arizona right now.
Yep.
So even though they already extended Kyler, which in my opinion might have been too quick and too much.
Thanks to Cliff Kingsbury.
And he's out of here.
Yep.
But people are having even a conversation of, are they going to be bad enough? Whereas would they make a decision to draft somebody else in the first round? I believe it's Caleb Williams out there at USC.
Yep.
You have to see what you have early enough. And I guess that's the thing. The only problem is, as Casey stated, if I throw Anthony Richardson out there behind a trash offense and no running game, do we know if he's good? I don't know.
Yeah, it's tough to tell. People forget how bad Peyton Manning's first year in Indianapolis was.
Exactly.
Set the record for most interceptions thrown by a rookie quarterback, I believe, with 28.
Also, yeah. So also people forget that Peyton Manning was amazing. Also, he had a Hall of Fame running back.
Yeah.
Which a would-be Hall of Fame wide receiver, despite some off-the-field things. Offensive line, he had all these pieces around him, which made him tremendous also.
And he had also proven definitively in college that he was a generational talented quarterback. You got to see a lot of him play at Tennessee. And Anthony Richardson, again, 1 year as a starter at Florida, and sure, he had showed those flashes here and there, but you didn't definitively. That's why we're all surprised when he got drafted as high as we did. It's like, man, there's so much about this guy we don't know.
It's a big risk. If I was a Colts fan, I'd be a little hesitant for sure. I was never super high on Anthony from the jump, just for all of that uncertainty, despite all of the physical tools and characteristics. And there's no off the field things. There's nothing questionable, no red flags.
Yeah.
I just haven't seen him play enough.
It's one of those things that Irsay and Shane Steichen are either going to look like the biggest geniuses in the world in a couple of years or the biggest idiots in the world, depending on how this goes.
Well, Jim Irsay takes care of the idiots a lot of time for himself.
It's not hard. I'll say that much.
Yeah, he does tend to do that often. We'll see. At least I'm curious about it.
For now, AR-15 is the official starter for the Colts. We'll see what happens once the season really starts.
Yeah.
Coming up, we will talk to Kerry Tharp, as we always do on Thursdays, getting you set for another weekend of NASCAR racing as we get closer and closer to the playoffs. You're listening to The Early Game on 107.5 The Game.
Friday, August 25th. Join 107.5 The Game for our football kickoff golf tournament. Our summer golf classic at Charwood Golf Club in West Columbia. 9:30 shotgun start. $100 a person, $400 for a team. Call Charwood at 803-755-2000. Lunch provided by Firehouse Subs. We'll be raffling off football tickets, Carowinds passes, and more. Our football kickoff tournament. The Summer Golf Classic. Friday, August 25th. From your home of the Gamecocks. 107.5 The Game.
Want to remind you, school's starting. It's time to contact Zerorez Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. Right now, you can have Zerorez come out to your house and take advantage of a great deal going on. You can get 3 rooms clean for only $129 when you mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game. Zerez, using its patented electrolyzed ZR water technology that cleans and eliminates dirt without any chemical additives. This way, your carpets stay cleaner longer. Again, mention me, Bill Gunner, at 107.5 The Game, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet clean for only $129. You can schedule online as well, ZerezColumbia.com. With the kids going back, now's the opportunity to get the house looking nice and clean. Contact Zerez, 803-262-4020, or again, schedule online, ZerezColumbia.com. Zerez, spell it backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean.
Sponsored by Mothers Against Drunk Driving.
For victims of drunk and drug driving, our grief is unique, but you are not alone. You always have a place at MAD. Call our 24-hour victim helpline at 877-MAD-HELP or visit mad.org.
Swim season is here. That means making sure your pool is ready to be used. Call Corley Pool Solutions today, 803-445-8109. Let Tracy Corley, with over 20 years of experience, help maintain your pool and have it ready to use this afternoon. Give them a phone call, 803-445-8109. Corley Pool Solutions will treat and maintain your pool, and they'll do it all for a flat rate price, including all of the chemicals. Call Corley Pool Solutions today, 803-445-8109.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hosting a career fair on Tuesday, August 29th from 11 a.m. till 3 p.m. in Columbia. Stop by the SCDC recruiting office at 4502 Broad River Road to discover the rewarding careers and great employee benefits available with SCDC. They're hiring correctional officers, nurses, food services, facilities maintenance, teachers, mental health professionals, and more positions statewide. There's increased pay for many positions and sign-on bonuses starting at $7,500. Call 803-734-JOBS for more info.
Hey, South Carolina, Scott here from Traditions Fine Jewelers with some sizzling summer savings to put a little bling in your step. How about a 2-carat total weight diamond stud earring for just $1,799? Or a gorgeous 2-carat solitaire, just $2,999? And if you want to go big, how about a 3-carat solitaire for just $4,999? We have more diamonds and more diamond jewelry at each of our locations than you typically see at 3 jewelry stores. And we have more lab-grown diamonds than you'll typically see in 5 jewelry stores. So why waste your valuable time driving around town when you can visit one of our stores, see our incredible selection, and get a better diamond at a better price? Plus, we can help you design the ring of your dreams and custom make it for you. So come see us at Traditions, because whether you want a $99 gift or a 10-carat diamond, we've got you covered. Only at Traditions Fine Jewelers on Sunset Boulevard in Lexington and at the Fountain at Sandhills, where the Midlands get engaged.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, this is Lisa Hostetler Brown. If you or a loved one are over 65 and haven't completed a long-term care planning consultation, now is the time. Did you know that if you aren't able to afford the high cost of skilled care, your assets can be rapidly depleted to only $2,000 unless you plan 5 years in advance? Visit lawyerlisa.com to see how we can help.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
It's the Love Chevrolet Countdown to Gamecock football.
16 days till kickoff.
Your trusted family-owned dealership since 1961. Get the vehicle you want, not the one you have to settle for. Love Chevy, South Carolina's #1 volume Chevy dealer. I-26 at Harbison and at lovechevy.com. Finding new roads.
1075 The Game traffic, sponsored by the South Carolina Department of Corrections.
South Carolina Department of Corrections is hiring statewide with huge pay raises. Correctional officers can now make $50,000 plus in their first year. Officers must be at least 18 years of age. Visit joinscdc.com to apply.
WIS-TV First Alert Traffic on 107.5 The Game.
Broad River Road near I-26. Still a little bit of a tie up there. And of course, the slowdown I-20 westbound between exits 51 and 44. Still causing a little bit of a problem. 92 for your high today. 94 tomorrow. It's up to 76 right now at 107.5 The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Herndon Chevrolet Studios. This is 107.5 The Game.
Discover Herndon Certified, Herndon Chevrolet's premier used car warranty. Shop with complete confidence knowing Herndon Chevrolet has got you covered.
Stop by or shop online today and see why Herndon Chevrolet makes you smile.
The early game
With Bill Gunter, former Gamecock Preston Thorne, and Jen Jensen.
on your home of the Gamecocks.
107.5 The Game.
Welcome back into the early game. 107.5 The Game. Tyler head in once again this morning for Bill Gunter alongside Preston Thorne, Jen Jensen on the other side of the glass. Time to talk a little bit of racing with our friend Kerry Tharp joining us on the Love Chevrolet phone lines as he does every single week here. Another week down, another, I don't want to say kind of surprise winner because we know Michael McDowell is really good at road courses, Kerry, but the utter domination he put on Sunday at the Indy Road Course definitely came as a surprise to a lot of people.
Well, it most certainly was, Tyler. I mean, I think Michael was a 16-1 underdog going into that race, and for him to hold off somebody like Chase Elliott, who's certainly one of the great road course racers currently in our sport, was pretty impressive. And for him to lock down that position in the playoffs, it's a big deal for him in Front Row Motorsports. It's primarily a smaller team that him and Todd Gilliland drive for. And I was excited to see him get that win. You know, he won the Daytona 500 a few years back, and his family wasn't able to be there because it was during the pandemic. And so they were able to celebrate with him the other day and kiss the bricks at Indianapolis. And, you know, when you look at him, he's won at two big venues. He's won at Daytona and he's won at Indianapolis. And so those are two big wins for him to have right now.
I think it speaks volumes to how far Front Row Motorsports has come. A decade ago, they were one of the teams that was, starting in parking, just trying to show up to the racetrack to make a few bucks. And like you said, they did win the Daytona 500 with him a few years ago. Have won other plate races as well with the likes of David Reagan back at Talladega. But this was definitively a true butt kicking. And, he's run good all season. He was in a position to point himself into the playoffs. Now doesn't have to worry about that and has a locked in position when the playoffs start here at Darlington in a couple of weeks.
Absolutely. And now we have 13 drivers locked in for the event. We've got 3 spots left and 2 races to go before we start the playoffs here at the Cookout Southern 500. We've got the road course this week at Watkins Glen. And then we have the race at Daytona under the lights the following Saturday night. So it's going to be interesting to see who those other 3 drivers are. Whether or not a couple of them like Kevin Harvick and Brad Keselowski get in, whether a victory or through points, or if somebody outside that space right now gets a win. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out here over the next couple of weeks.
And it is kind of interesting as well how last year it looked like they were almost going to have to figure out a way to either expand the playoff, grid, or they were going to have to come up with some designations because they were almost over the 16, where it was filling in. And this year we don't have maybe quite as many to fill in. So, but it is going to be fun because Chase Elliott, he needs a win to get in. So some of the favorites you really would like to see get in. So and it's strictly at this point, it's, got to win to get in.
Yeah, pretty much so. And I mean, and Chase Elliott, obviously former Cup champion, and he's most popular driver multiple times, and yet he's got to get a win these next 2 weeks, or he's going to be on the outside looking in. And so certainly he's got a great opportunity this week at Watkins Glen. He's won there multiple times. In fact, that was his first ever Cup win a few years back. So it'll be interesting to see if he can get that win and get himself into the playoffs.
Kerry, I'm curious about this. One more question before we get into our picks segment. This Sunday's race featured the longest green flag run in NASCAR since the Atlanta race back in 2016, just shy of 2 hours, because you only had the one caution at the beginning with Justin Haley. Where do you fall on the debate of stage breaks versus no stage breaks?
Well, that's a great question. I think the stage breaks have been good for the sport, and I think that I'm okay with them. To be honest with you, I think it gives drivers and teams the opportunity to accumulate additional points during the course of the race, and I think it makes for some interesting racing. With a couple laps to go in each stage, as you're trying to fight for a position to get those points. Now, they've opted not to have stage breaks in the road course races this year, and I'm sure they'll go back and evaluate that and see if that's what they want to do again moving forward. But for the most part, I've been okay with it. I know there's some folks, particularly maybe some longtime fans that don't like it, but I think for the most part, the stage breaks have been okay.
Yep. It gives a chance to re-rack them, a little bit and start fresh.
I know nothing about what y'all were talking about, but I do know that old fans don't like anything new.
Well, that's very
Correct.
true.
That is true.
Regardless
Good
of what,
point there, Preston.
regardless of what sport
You're
we're talking
exactly
about.
right.
Well,
That's a good point.
Jen, do we have the updated standings after last week?
Yes, we do have the updated standings. Sadly, Bill is in the lead with 89. Carrie and Preston are now tied for second and with 82. Reggie has 79, and I've just been snake bit all season, so I have 67. So I need to win out at this point.
Yeah, you do.
And with that, let's make our picks for Watkins Glen this weekend.
All right. Sadly, I'm first pick. So yay me. It's worked really well for me to be first pick. But you know what? Chase has run fairly well here, and he really needs a win. He was strong last weekend. So I'm going to put my money on Elliott.
Chase Elliott.
So that would then, I was writing, and that means Reggie is next. So he did send his picks in early, and he has Kyle Larson is who he is going to select.
Defending winner. Good
Okay.
pick.
Yes. So that would put us now to, I'm trying to do the math here. So we got Reggie's pick. So we got Preston or Carrie, one of you guys who should be.
Go ahead, Preston.
I'm going to go with Tyler Reddick.
Nice
Good
call.
pick, Preston. Good pick.
All right.
All right, Carrie.
I'm going to go with the guy that I hope he can get into the playoffs because he's good for the sport, and then as media like to say, he's good copy. I'm going to go with AJ Allmendinger.
Ooh,
Oh, nice call.
good one there. Am I making Bill's pick again?
Sure. He thought you
Okay.
made up the name JJ Yaley. So
Okay.
how's that?
I won't definitively pick somebody that's going to finish last this time, but I'll go with Alex Bowman.
Okay. Fair enough.
Okay.
All right, Carrie. Thanks
Love
as
it.
always for giving us some
Okay.
of your time, and excited to be back out of Darlington in just over 2 weeks.
Sounds good. Look forward to it. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, Carrie.
All right, that'll do it for today's edition of the early game. I'm going to jump into the other side of the glass, give Colin Taylor a phone call, and we're going to roll on within the bonus. I'll be back in tomorrow morning alongside Preston and Jen once again for the early game. Thanks so much for listening, and everybody enjoy your Thursday.
WNKT FM, Eastover, Columbia.
Hey, this is Michi Johnson here, South Carolina point guard, and you're listening to 107.5 The Game, home of the Gamecocks.
A Cumulus media station.
The 2023